Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a very special room-ruining edition of Monster Party.
Monster Party.
Monster Party. Monster Party. Monster Party. Ooh, ow, ooh,
It's the new year.
It's the new. Yes, it is the new. We're not going to say that for every episode.
Every
episode for 2023.
Okay. Yes, it is the new year.
It is a new year, and we're pumping and going.
Yeah, we're pumping
and going.
We are pumping.
We're going.
We're going, and this is a good episode to further put the wind in our sails for the new year.
Yeah. A fun, very nerdy kind of little
violent, extremely violent.
True.
Topic.
Confrontational.
Yes.
And speaking of confrontational, who are you, sir?
Nicely done. I am Matt Weinhold.
I am Shawn Sheridan.
I am Larry Strothe.
All right.
I am James Gonis.
Although we call him the Bruiser.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, look, we're just gonna jump right to it. For this episode, we got another edition of a fan favorite.
Favorite.
And it is another
People keep
edition
asking
of Who Would Win. So this particular episode of Who Would Win is titled Who Would Win Volume 7 Carnagepalooza.
Carnagepalooza! Who would win Volume 7?
Carnage.
I just thought of that just off the top of my head.
That's amazing, and this is such a fun thing. This is
yes,
yes,
it is. We love it. We love it every time.
If you're new to the program, guys, how would you say you would explain this?
Matt, you've described before as it's kind of like the ultimate nerd playground argument or discussion,
schoolyard game.
Exactly.
Where, you're in the schoolyard and you bring up two fictional characters. Well, Superman would win over Batman, and then it becomes an actual fight as opposed to a hypothetical one.
Right. And then the local jocks come over and beat you up.
Right. Because why are you talking about this nerdy bullshit?
Right. No, two characters come in a room and one character leaves.
Right.
That's what it is.
And so that's usually the basic premise. It's like they enter a room and one leaves. Now, there'll be caveats to that.
Sure.
Always are.
Because, there are extenuating circumstances, but that's basically it. And so for this episode, we've done this in the past and we've had some great guests for this, but there was one guest, he was right in front of us the entire time. and he's the perfect guy for this.
That's
because
true.
he knows so much. He knows what we do. He's
truly one of us.
He
knowledgeable.
Is very knowledgeable. And he's a friend of the show, good friend of mine. And oh my God, he's a talented writer, director, producer, actor, voice actor. And he's also the founder of Biff Bang Pow Toys. And he has a little special show on Entertainment Earth called Plastic Soul, the pop culture show by Entertainment Earth. Let's please welcome our good friend, Jason LENZI.
Jason LENZI!
Hey,
welcome,
hello, everyone.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Lovely to see everybody.
Yes.
Happy New Year to you. Always lovely
Great
to see
you. Yes, it is.
Yes.
What a great way to start 23.
Yeah.
We keep starting it over and over again. It's nice. We can't get it right.
We're still within the realm.
Yes, we are. But so are you excited about this? Do you have a lot of good matchups that you think are going to blow our socks off?
I could do this all day. Like, it's like, oh, come on, just add water. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Right.
It's fun.
So it's going to be a water thing, right? You're going to mine versus
all water based.
Water based.
Sea monkeys.
Heroes of Buddhism. All mine are.
Nice.
All my characters. So might get a
might
get a little heavy about the meaning of life in this one, but we're going to go there.
You know what? I want to learn something. So
yeah.
Perfect.
Cool.
But,
you will.
traditionally, we let the guest start with this kind of thing. So why don't you give us one? Why don't you start us off with a who would win matchup?
Go for it.
All right, you ready? All right, this is gonna blow your mind. So hold on to your socks.
I will. Holding.
Doctor Strange versus Dr. Manhattan.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Now, normally,
my mind is just blown.
So normally I would have an immediate answer for this, but considering that we're talking about Dr. Manhattan, there are elements to him that, make it not quite as easy to judge.
Yeah.
Because you've got godlike powers.
Well, isn't it that he can exist several minutes in the future or can go into several minutes into the future, right?
He can do that as well, right?
Yeah, like time is just kind of circular for him, I think.
But I mean, you could say that possibly the same thing about Doctor Strange. So
they're both multidimensional.
Multidimensional, yes.
When it comes to reality, time, and just general powers, really.
It's a tough one.
Yeah,
it's a tough one. I'm leaning toward Doctor Strange because of the pure magical element.
He's a sorcerer as opposed to a scientist.
Yes.
Right?
But I get the feeling like with Dr. Manhattan, we don't even really realize the full potential of his powers.
Well, he's sort of a symbol, isn't he, of the potential for nuclear devastation and nuclear power, right? I mean,
sure.
Destruction held back. So
he's also God.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I would lean toward Dr. Manhattan, actually.
Okay,
they're both
fair.
Intelligent.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I mean,
Larry,
this is tough, and I was going to go one way, then I was going to go another way, and I agree with Matt. I'm leaning towards Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I think also because we've seen Doctor Strange in action much more than we have Dr. Manhattan, because we know Dr. Manhattan simply from the graphic novel and the film of that novel. So,
and the TV series.
Right. So we've seen a lot more, but we've seen a lot more of what Doctor Strange has done. He may have more experience combating different unknown things. So I think I'm going to go with Strange as well, although maybe by a slight margin.
I'm going to give the edge to Dr. Manhattan.
Okay.
And only because, and depending on when you get him, he doesn't have the moral compass that Doctor Strange does. Dr. Manhattan sort of sees it all as all of this has happened before. It's all going to happen again. And life doesn't mean he doesn't understand that he loses sense of the humanity and how precious life is as he gets more into Dr. Manhattan. So depending on when they fought, I would give the edge to Manhattan just blinking and
because of that
blowing. Yeah, because of that. Yeah.
He's not going to second guess as much as maybe Doctor Strange would.
Right. That's my theory.
I can see that.
That's a good one.
Then he got colder as time went on.
Right. That's a good one. That's a good matchup because
I like that.
It's a fairly even match. Yeah.
So I did this right then.
Nice. Nice start. Nice.
Very nice. Good start.
First try.
Yeah. Right out of the gate.
Right.
Huh?
I like
Amazing.
it.
Okay.
All right.
So relieved.
Larry, why don't you take one?
Well, I got something that's right up Jason's alley.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
And before you guys blurt out what you think is the obvious answer, you really need to think about this, okay?
All right.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a little explanation for you. All right. Let's think now to the 1980 version of Flash Gordon, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Prince Baron was played by Timothy Dalton. This is pre-James Bond era.
Right.
Versus the Flash Gordon serial 1936 Prince Baron, played by Richard Alexander, also known as Dick Alexander. Now, before you guys answer, I know what you guys are thinking. You're going to go, Larry, that Prince Baron, he was like a big chubby guy. He's not that. He's not like suave and sophisticated like Timothy Dalton. But guys, Dick Alexander, this was one of his big roles in that 1936 Flash Gordon. He normally played he had a ton of roles playing big, bruiser characters. He played king's guards, prisoners, pirates, roughnecks, henchmen, thugs, burly farmers, strongmen, saloon brawlers. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to say is, guys, this guy was a monster. He was a big, strong, tough dude, like maybe a villain in a James Bond film. And I thought about this. It's like, can you imagine putting these two Prince Barons together and see who would win in a room? There you go.
Well, first of all, just back in that time of the serials, life was harder, just in general. So I would think that there'd be that edge. If you're going to work that in, there'd be the, I've stood in soup lines. I've rationed my food, and I'm mad. And Timothy Dalton, I don't know exactly. Jason, you could probably tell me more about his education and his upbringing, but I'm assuming it wasn't too working class, but maybe it was. I don't know.
How dare you? How dare you?
Tell me.
He is from Colwyn Bay, Wales. Slightly working class. He's a big guy too. Dalton's about 6. I think he's about 6'3", 6'4". Wow. And if you look at, it's funny when you look at the Bond films, and this will tell you how many times I've seen all these films or the Dalton stuff. But especially the shot in Flash Gordon when Flash puts his hand out to take his hand and shake his hand, and he doesn't know what a handshake is. Get a load of Dalton's hand. He's got big hands. I mean, even in Bond, when they do the close-ups of him in Bond, well, that
means something else, but
come on, grow up.
I'm not going to work clean. I won't.
What is wrong with you? But he's a pretty big guy, but he's also, Shakespearean actor, trained in stage combat as well. Now, if we're talking about Dalton versus Lash LaRue, what's the guy's name? The guy that played. Whoever the guy that played, and we're talking about the humans.
Yeah, see, I was looking at more as the character.
If we're talking about, you can look at the characters.
They're kind of physically matched, sort of.
Yeah,
aren't they? The other, maybe the serial one's a bit bigger, a bit more hefty than.
He is hefty, but
he's raw.
I'm leaning toward Larry because those guys, I'm telling you, it's like I put them in the same category as like the Lon Chaneys and the Broderick Crawford.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you said, brawlers.
Brawler guys who you think they're going to be a pushover because they got some weight downstairs, and then you hit them and they just kind of laugh at you. Yeah. Well, wasn't that cute?
Or Matt, if you hit them, they take it and they keep on coming.
Right.
At first, when I was putting this together, I first thought it was going to be, hands down, Dalton. But then when I started to look into Richard Alexander's career, and then I thought about the character of Prince Baron in that serial. I mean, he's a big bruiser. So
I would say, though, yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
To me, though, as far as the character in the movies, I mean, I haven't seen the serial in a while, but if he's like a big bruiser, kind of big guy, the one thing about Prince Baron in the 1980 film is that he's pretty cunning. He's also very hot-headed, though, and it takes Flash to kind of convince him to go up against Ming. So, but I mean, he is pretty. I think he's pretty. But I think the Dalton version of Prince is pretty cunning and resourceful, maybe a little more intelligent than the Baron of the serial. So, I think I'm going to go with Dalton because I think he would. Yeah, he may not match him physically, even in brute strength, but I think he would find a way to trick him up. I think he's So that's my answer.
Or he would just get lost in those piercing blue eyes that Dalton.
Right.
That's a secret power. Okay,
yeah,
that would distract him.
Jason hasn't really leaned, but James, please.
Honestly, I don't remember that character. I haven't seen those serials since I was in high school.
Oh, come on!
I do not remember that character from the serials.
But I'll bet you have the soundtrack, right?
Well, they actually use some of the Bride of Frankenstein. Franz.
That's right. They use some of the Universal stock music.
But I'm going to give it to Dalton for sentimental reasons because I liked him a lot as James Bond, and I think what Sean said made sense. So yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Jason, give me your decision then. What do you think?
I am legally obligated to pick Dalton for everything, whether it's a softball team or best man for a wedding or something. I have to.
But that being said, I do love him.
But that's one of the things that he, everything you said, Larry, about the serial and Matt, the type of bodies you had back then and how these guys sort of carried themselves. But one of the things that made Dalton so forceful as Baron, but also as Bond, is he looked, good in a tuxedo, but like you think this guy could really do some damage. Like he believed in the action parts.
Return to the Sean Connery type.
Yeah.
Yes.
While at the same time looking like Errol Flynn. Now,
I agree.
Now, Jason, if I could just step off, he only did 2 Bond films, right?
He only did 2 Bond films: The Living Daylights in '87 and License to Kill in '89.
Right.
Yeah. There were 2 or 3 more planned, and they started the planning stages for the third one. I think it was going to be called The Property of a Lady, which was a short story, a Fleming short story.
Did that become Octopussy eventually?
No, Octopussy.
I thought Property of a Lady. It sounds like it was.
Yes, there are elements from Property of a Lady that made their way into Octopussy. Just like the whip in License to Kill came from Live and Let Die. The manta ray whip that he. So they would start to sprinkle things from the books into
right.
Because there was not much left of the stories.
Right.
But yeah, he only did 2.
By the way, I do have Property of a Lady tattooed on my left cheek, and
well,
just to let everyone know, hands off.
Well, just to end this, I wanted to let you guys know that I love Timothy Dalton in Flash Gordon 1980. I love that film so much.
Yeah, me too.
But I do think that Richard Alexander, I think, would get the best. So I take it we all can disagree here, but I think it's a neat pair up, though.
I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Nice. I just want to know. Cool. I want to know what Matt's right cheek says. Who gets that property?
Property on Jason Lenzi.
Sean, why don't you take it from here? Sean, let's hear yours.
Okay, all right. So this one, I'm going to go super dark and hardcore. The first one, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. The Babadook versus Pazuzu, the demon from The Exorcist.
Oh
man!
Wow. Supernatural.
Because when you think about it, they're both demonic entities, and we kind of only know their powers through the people they have possessed. The Babadook, once you are aware of the Babadook, to try to deny its existence, it'll fucking come after you. And
I got an answer.
Okay. Because I'm not even sure myself yet.
I'm going with my answer.
Was there more an explanation, Sean?
Well,
yes, no, go ahead. Sorry.
That's the Babadook. And of course, Pazuzu is this ancient, I think, kind of Assyrian demon that has been around forever and, can just very slyly and, take possession of an innocent from afar at any time.
Slyly?
Well, at first, Captain Howdy and the Ouija board. I mean, it's a subtle buildup before he doesn't come out guns blazing right away. It's a very subtle, So I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm curious what your answer is.
Oh, that's a really good one. I want to hear what everybody thinks. I'm going to wait.
To me, they seem like equal in terms of demonic powers.
Well, and also how you opened with how they sort of come into the world. Like they need a conduit sort of, and it's very similar. But I'm curious to hear what people. Matt, what's your gut say?
Or can I throw something out, Matt, before you? Because I know you're brilliant and you're going to take. Because mine is like regular Joe Simpson thing. Sean, my 2 things were this: Pazuzu, because it's been around for such a long time. There's this history. So to me, the existence of it has been around longer. Whereas the Babadook, I think it's there's that book that kind of helps it, right?
Well, the book, there was a children's story book, and once she reads it and then she throws away the book. I mean, Pazuzu has also battled with Father Mirren before the things that took place in The Exorcist. I think it was in Africa. So, I mean, he's got a history. Babadook, we don't know as much about beyond that book,
Right. So what gets me is Pazuzu's been around longer. So to me, the survival thing, that's why I lean towards, I don't know if they both got into a room, but I think with the history and stuff, I think Pazuzu would be the stronger of the 2 evils. That's my simpleton way of thinking.
Okay.
It's not simpleton, but
that
makes sense. But for me, when I think about the Babadook and I think about just the way they operate. Now, if we're talking about them fighting each other, that's a hard one because it's hard to like how they would come after each other. But if we're talking about the way that they do what they do and how successful it is, the Babadook is way more sly. In fact, Pazuzu is sort of a show off, spitting the pea soup and the bed rising off and with Babadook, it's a sly plan. And then having the book too, where, you say, oh, it's, he came from this book. What book? And then, you try to throw the book away. The book comes out, like all these kind of weird stuff. And then it taking over the mom. It's possessing the mom, not the kid.
Right.
Which is a nice switch because, who's going to believe a kid?
Yeah, it makes the mom turn on her own son.
Right. And so because of those tactics, I think I want to give it to the Babadook. We don't know how old the Babadook is.
True.
Babadook, I'm assuming, as this supernatural spirit, has been around forever, and maybe it worked through hieroglyphics during the Egyptian times. Right. We don't know.
Good point. Good point.
I think I do have an answer now to myself, but I want to hear everybody else go. Okay.
I appreciate Matt's thinking, but to me, Pazuzu is an agent of Satan, and the possession is a satanic possession. And in my way of thinking, Babadook might have been conjured by Satan, but with Pazuzu, you actually got the source of the evil. Well, he is a show off, and maybe he's not as sly, but I would still give it to Pazuzu.
And James, is that literally a silhouette or a shadow of Pazuzu behind you right now on the shelf?
Yes, indeed it is.
You have an exorcist.
Well, that's
right
why you picked him, because you worship him.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, I thought this was easy because I was going to go Pazuzu as well because of the being an agent of Satan, the possession aspect, possession aspect, because as we know, possession is 2/10 of the law. And
Babadook possesses though.
But Matt made a really good case about the Babadook and how insidious it is, and the book not being able to get rid of the book, and just the plan that's sort of in place that's clearly been done before. And that Pazuzu is a little more in your face. Like it's not as like you kind of, oh, there it is, it's here. Whereas the Babadook, you try to go, it didn't take long. When it kicks off in The Exorcist, once Ellen Burstyn gets Jason Patric's dad, in there, he knows something ain't right. He doesn't quite know what it is. But whereas with the Babadook, this poor woman is trying to convince, like it's so insidious that there's no one on her side. Like it's just starting to.
And who's going to believe that story?
Who's going to believe that story? Yeah, I think I'm going to give it to the Babadook.
Wow.
And that's not just because I've got Matt's right butt cheek. That's not why.
Okay, so because I belong to you.
We're tied here, Sean.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I wasn't sure until I heard everybody's thoughts, but now as I was thinking about it, I'm going to go with Pazuzu for this reason.
Yeah,
because Pazuzu, according to what we have seen of him, is a true, real demonic force in our reality where other people have seen it and have felt its consequences, right?
Right.
Babadook is possibly all in the mind of the mother. It's very possible that it could be because nobody else has seen the Babadook except for the mom and the kid in his imagination. And even if he's not purely in the psychological mind of the mom, maybe he has to prey on someone who believes in him. And if someone doesn't believe in him, whereas Pazuzu doesn't give a fuck. It's there, it's real, and it's going to possess whoever he wants anywhere around the world. So to me,
but nobody believes in the Babadook until the things start happening.
But the only people who believe in the Babadook is the mom and the kid.
Are the ones that it's attacking.
But it's only going after the mom and the kid. If I remember the film right, everybody thinks the mom's crazy because
but see, that's an insidious plan because you separate.
But what I'm saying is that could still be psychological. She could simply be crazy. With Pazuzu, we know that it's a real demon because we have several priests and the head of the church and all that talking about, okay, what are we going to do with this girl? She has physical things in her body. She's taken to a hospital. She's going through all this because of the demon. Whereas Babadook, we don't know. We are
proposing this though as if the Babadook is real, though. See, if we're going to do this,
but as I said, though,
it win. You can't go. Well, who would win? But mental disease, or
then scratch the mental disease and hallucinations, and just say that it needs somebody to believe in it.
It doesn't, though. It doesn't need someone.
When the mom sees that book and throws it away, she's seen it now, and the kid has told her it's real. The kid keeps saying, "I saw the Babadook. It's coming for you." It starts to play with her mind because she's going through her own issues.
But it's doing it in a subtle.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, yes, it is quite insidious. Yeah. I just think, I guess Pazuzu seems to be a more overall, larger scale attack on the world.
But it's blustering. See, we're not saying that Pazuzu isn't powerful and backed up by Satan, but the type of things that it does are big and show offy.
True.
And
in Exorcist 3. It transports the soul of the Gemini killer into the dead body of Father Karras, spoiler, to taunt Kinderman. So there's
a bit better of a plan.
Yeah. But I don't know. Look, I think it's still close either way, but I'm just gonna go with
fair enough.
Pazuzu. So
okay.
All right.
Nice one, Sean.
Very nice
on that one.
Very nice.
James, how about you?
Go for it.
James.
Danny Torrance from The Shining.
Okay.
Versus the kid from The Sixth Sense.
Ooh.
Are they going to fight each other?
They're going to fight.
Yeah, so who would win?
Lock them up.
Oh, that's horrible.
The Sixth Sense kid, just because he's a little bigger.
But wait, though. Okay, so the Sixth Sense kid doesn't have powers other than seeing dead people.
He's messed up, man.
Well,
but they're going to fight. The two little kids fighting.
They can both see dead people, and Danny. You would think that Danny might have the edge because he's got The Shining. But in a fight like this, I don't know that it's going to do him any good.
It's two kids fighting.
Kids fighting.
Danny is younger. He's young. You're making two little kids fight.
I got it.
What kind of human are you to force two little kids? Is this the world you want, James? Force kids to solve their problems by fighting?
Child fighting should be an Olympic sport.
No, it should not be.
You know what? Especially
solve our problems through talking.
Especially if wagering is allowed for child fighting, that would be completely.
Yeah. Kids are tiny psychopaths until they reach the age of I don't know. But
totally on board with that.
They're both in the playground. They're in the playground and they're arguing about Pazuzu versus Babadook, and they start to scrap.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still, Sixth Sense kid wins because this is what happens. They go into the room. They're both they're seeing dead people all over the place, and they're talking about. But then what happens is his little friend, the finger guy,
Tony
goes, Mr. Torrance, and like Tony starts talking. And then Danny goes, what? And then boom, gets from the side.
But Danny
Tony will distract him.
Yeah. Danny possesses the power of The Shining, right?
Yeah.
And which is
what
kind
does
of
that mean though? That's just an ability.
But is there more to it?
Deal.
But he sees he can see ghosts and
but so can the kid from The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, you really could say the kid from The Sixth Sense also has The Shining. Really, it's the same kind of power in a way.
We're talking about a fight.
But but how? No, what I'm saying is how would either of them use that power when they're physically fighting?
You can't, John.
You can't use it against.
Stupid about this.
You can't use it against anybody. Like you can't project that power.
He can't make a fist.
No,
because Tony has to speak.
Look, I'll give it to Haley Joel.
I don't want to hear your thing yet.
I want to hear why.
I want to give you my twist.
Wait a minute. I'm not done with the Tony. So Tony either stops you from making a fist, or maybe you could use Tony, like if he tries to poke Haley Joel Osment's eye, it's like he's headbutting him.
like a Three Stooges move.
Okay.
I see
All right.
more as a distraction.
Okay. This is great, but this is the truth of the matter. Both kids are messed up kids, okay? And I think this, and I just want to go on the record saying this is horrible for you to bring this up, James. I'm so repulsed. But I'm gonna play your sick and twisted game.
Twisted little game.
Don't put your thumbs up. This is wrong. But what I'm gonna say is, if these two kids go in a room, this is what I see happening. Obviously, Sixth Sense kid. He's taller, he's bigger, he's older. They would both be freaked out by this whole thing. Older. But what I do think would happen is he would take some action over the smaller, younger kid, because I don't think the younger, smaller kid has that development yet. And so I think if the Haley Joel Osment felt threatened, as repulsed in that he'd want to vomit and stuff, but he would pick up a board and hit the little kid over the head if he felt threatened and kill him. And I feel terrible that I'm saying this, but I would go with the Sixth Sense kid.
Well, Larry,
hey, he's on my side.
Well, Larry, hold my beer, because if you're disgusted by that, I'm gonna go with Danny, because Danny's dad is an alcoholic. And if that dad ever sat him down because some kid picked on him, he probably said, after a few scotches, if anybody ever comes up to you and you swing first, you grab whatever's around and you swing it. Don't even talk. So I think Danny would get the edge.
I could see him saying that. I could see him saying that to his son, whereas Shelley Duvall, like, oh, don't tell him that. No, he's got to learn. He's got to learn.
No, he's got to learn.
Life's hard.
He's got to learn. That's
right.
Wow.
So wait a minute. We're basing our arguments now on your
so
fan
horrible.
And then, if you how is that? Well, I'm sorry. How is that different in the background than any of the other characters we're talking about? We're basing on the background of like, what do we know? Well, we know that Danny's dad is a raging alcoholic. He's sobered up now that they've gone to the thing, but that doesn't last long.
No, we know, Jason. We know that he had his arm pulled out. We know he had his arm pulled out. You don't think
he's got a
you
bad
don't think
arm.
that he'd be freaked? He's got a bad arm. You don't think that he'd be freaked out? He'd be, I don't want violence because I don't like it. That's why I think
I'm no child psychologist, but it could go either way. You could revert, or you could go, you know what? And then the dad sits him down and says, I wouldn't hurt a little hair on your head, and does all that. And then says, but listen, if a kid ever messes with you, you better get in there first because you're small and whatever. And I can see that conversation happening. I give the edge to Danny. He kills the kid from the Sixth Sense. And now everybody sees him because he's a dead person.
Wait, if it didn't take
I can see myself now.
If it didn't take place in a room and it took place in a maze, then I give it to Dan.
Right.
Okay.
Then
it sounds like it sounds like so it's 2-2. Okay, James, Mr. Twisted, sick guy. What do you think? Who's your winner in this?
Haley Joel Osment, because I just recently saw The Sixth Sense the other night again, and he's a little bit pissed off. Like, he walks around with a chip on his shoulder. It's like, okay, he's disturbed. He's seeing visions. He's a sweet enough kid, so you can't blame him for having a chip on his shoulder, but there's a little bit something on edge about him. And I could see him on the verge of snapping. And Danny Torrance, meanwhile, is pretty much nothing but innocence. I mean, all the kid is like he's victimized.
He's younger too,
and he's younger, and he's probably smaller. So I give it to Sixth Sense.
Okay,
I just again on the record. That's a horrible.
I know.
Horrible.
I'm ashamed.
I don't know if I will ever.
You monster.
And I want to apologize to listeners who are just tuning in. You're not realizing
if you're just tuning in.
Yeah.
Okay. Rosemary's Baby versus.
Okay, Matt, why don't you take us out of this
real
whole
baby
kid thing? Why don't you take us out of this kid thing here?
The baby from Willow.
Sweet Pea versus.
Okay.
Here we go. So this one I think you'll like, Larry, and I'm surprised that we haven't done it before.
Okay.
Because it's right in front of us. Gort from The Day the Earth Stood Still, the original 1951 version.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus Robbie the Robot.
Well, interesting. Knowing Matt, there's a hidden agenda here. There's a secret weapon that I'm not aware of. there's some poison dart that Robbie has in his foot or something that's going to shoot out of Gort's groin that I wasn't aware of.
Oh, come on. Why bring that into... We don't know.
Cut of Forbidden Planet that I've never seen, but my gut says... says Gort would win in that contest.
You say Gort.
I say Gort because
why?
He's so powerful. Well,
Gort,
the only glitch here is that he needs direction. I mean, he's taking direction from Klaatu. So I don't know what he's like on a normal Tuesday.
Let's give this
the
backstory that Klaatu has told him go fight Robbie.
Oh, right. Okay. Well then
I think he wins. I think Gort wins.
You think Gort wins?
There is no question. There is no question Gort will win, Matt, for one reason of what Klaatu says in the film.
Okay, give it to me.
If left unchecked, or if I want to, I can have Gort destroy this entire fucking planet right now.
Right. Okay.
We don't know at all the extent of Gort's powers. Robbie was built to tend and care for a couple people on a planet. Yes, he can do amazing things. He can create whiskey out of his abdomen and all this stuff.
Yes, he can.
Yes, he can lift things. He's powerful. He can
smooth too.
But if Gort has some kind of mechanism where he just turns on, where he just vaporizes everything around him within a mile, that will include Robbie. If that's the order from Klaatu, as soon as he enters the room, he raises his visor or whatever. Maybe, like in Iron Giant, where you don't know until later in the film, he has like attack mode. He opens up and like all this stuff comes out and like he's ready to attack. That could be Gort. We have no idea. That smooth, simple, beautiful form of him, we don't know what else it can do.
Well, then if we're going to play that game, then you have to say that with Robbie as well.
Robbie seems he is not as technological advanced to me. He's working parts that move and make sound. He's not as advanced as Gort. Gort is a way, way, way advanced form of robotics than Robbie is. And
isn't Robbie's only weaponry the laser pistol? Isn't that all he has? Or does he have weaponry? I don't know. I'm not aware of.
There's a little laser on
here's my question, though.
Antenna. Remember, there's a little monkey that tries to get an orange or an banana, and he zaps it, kind of like stunning it, and he goes, "Ooh!"
But why would Morbius make Robbie with a planet-destroying capability? It's just to take care of him, and I just think Gort is way more advanced and way more deadly.
Matt, I'm going to say this is a great battle here. I think it would be so cool. And as cool as Gort looks, though, I think if I was going to choose one of these robots to be in my home, I would go with Robbie the Robot.
Oh, sure,
right.
I mean, to have an actual Robbie the Robot in my house would be cool. But look, I'd love to have a Gort too. Both are beautiful. The Robbie's more expensive.
But what about who? What about the fight? What about who's going to win?
Sean, as irritating as Sean
is
the thing was.
Why was that irritating?
Well, he was going on and on and on with everything that Sean says in the film. I believe Robbie the Robot was put together with plans that Morbius got from the Krell, and so it is kind of a servant, and
right.
And Sean's right. We don't know if he's got some kind of button to destroy the whole planet, but realistically, it doesn't make logical sense because when they do ultimately destroy the planet, there's a process about going through it. He didn't just say press Robbie's button and it'll explode.
True.
Yeah, and so I agree with Sean that in the battle between those two, I think Robbie could probably do some lasers and maybe fire little missiles or something, but I think Gort would put up his force field and then shoot that ray, and Robbie would be over. So
so wait a minute.
Gort.
I have a question then. So you're saying that the force field that's coming from Gort?
Yeah. When they try to fire and things just bounce off him or something, he has a power that can keep lasers or bullets or something from destroying him or damaging him. And he's got that laser ray that comes out of his eye that makes things disintegrate basically. And right. Sean's right. If given the order, he can make the whole planet explode or blow up or be destroyed. So
the fact that Klaatu just brought that one robot to this planet, not knowing what's going to happen, he's not worried because he knows Gort can take care of things.
Also, I'm going to go a step further, Sean. If we're going to play by the robot rules too, if Gort found that Robbie is a danger to mankind, he would destroy Robbie right away, because he's the policeman for people of the planet to protect people from any harm from themselves or other things.
And doesn't Robbie have that self-built-in thing where he won't attack?
He can't. Yeah,
no,
he can't
not
attack.
Only people.
People, that's true. Okay, I'll give you that. You're right. He would attack. He would still attack. You're right. If he was told that, like, Gort was a danger to humanity, he has to fight him. Sure. Okay.
And
I still go
from
with
what we know about Robbie. Robbie is virtually indestructible.
Virtually. But not.
Well, we don't know. But see, we don't. All we know is what we've learned from Klaatu. But we don't know. We don't know if there are any kind of vulnerabilities in Gort.
But the fact that he lets him stand right outside the ship there,
it's because
not worried about him.
Well, because he only has people. Because he only has people. He's Klaatu's race have already done their homework on the Earth. They know that we have nothing that could harm Gort. And so what I'm just saying is that human weapons he's not too worried about.
Right.
Now
let's find out what James or James Jonas has to say.
Gort.
Okay.
For the reasons previously mentioned.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah. Well, I still go with Gort, but I keep thinking that Matt's got some secret weapon in his thought about Robbie that I'm not aware of, because it just seemed so. Yeah, Gort's just. I mean, Gort, he did destroy some tanks too, didn't he? Not just people.
He melted some tanks.
Melted some tanks, so he might be able to melt Robbie.
Maybe, but tanks aren't made of the same thing that Robbie is made out.
We know,
of.
Matt. We know you love Robbie the robot. I do too. I love Robbie just as much
Matt,
as you do.
So you're thinking Robbie?
Now, I'm not giving you my final conclusion, but here are some of my arguments for Robbie. Okay. Because Robbie is a product of Krell technology. I'm sure he is built to withstand almost anything. And I would also say that he has a brilliant mind. Again, coming from Krell technology. He is also basically a matter manipulator. He can make things in his body. He can make dresses. He can make liquor. And that's only the things that people have asked him to make.
Yeah.
If Morbius said, hey, I need you to make the strongest possible weapon that has ever been conceived, he would make that. Now, whether he would use that, I'm just saying that's the thing that hooks me up, because I want to go with you guys. Guys, you know me. I love you know what I love about Gort too? Smooth lines.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't know. Yeah, I like that. I get where you're going, Matt, but I would say still Gort, because look how long it takes Robbie to make those gems for Anne Francis.
That's a good point.
And it takes like overnight to make all the liquor for Cook or whatever. So like you can't, like, in other words, if he could, like, he could make a nuclear detonator in his abdomen, take it out and throw it at Gort, but Gort's going to vaporize it before he has chance.
Well, unless they're both made out of this stuff that doesn't fall apart too easily. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
And so he's shooting his. I'll bet you it would take a lot to get through Robbie the robot. Again, it's Krell technology.
Yeah, it might. Yeah,
and I would. And there's something about those two movies. When I think of the Krell, I think of them as vastly more technologically advanced than, say, Klaatu's race. From what I could see, yeah. But I could be wrong about that.
But they're a little clunky, aren't they? Because they're huge.
Well, they're big. We're talking about the Krell. The Krell aren't going to fight anybody.
They're short and square, though. Shaped like a
they're
squarish thing.
But the reason why Robbie is clunky is because he was made by a man. But still, I think there's enough Krell technology in there that is going to protect him.
Okay.
But still, wait a minute. But still, after all of those arguments, I'm still going to go with Gort.
Okay.
Because I will go with Gort because of this, because his natural inclination is to destroy. And there might be a little bit of lag time in Robbie that's thinking, is this right? Yeah. Should I do this?
Right.
Is this a guy in a suit? What's happening here?
Yeah. Does Cookie need more booze?
Right. Oh, wait. If I get into this fight, will I not have enough time to make the dress?
Right.
Yeah. Should I wear? This is all great and wonderful. And
should I wear the dress to the fight?
Maybe if he wears the dress to the fight, then it confuses Gort.
Yeah, but it's a very great combo there, man.
Mystery of life.
Yeah, it is actually a good matchup, though. I'd love to see it, man. Tell you.
No, I don't want to see that matchup. I want them to go. I want them to be friends and say, "Let me show you how to make a dress." And
I want them to be friends and together destroy the earth.
Yeah.
It's a crossover. It's a crossover. The day the Forbidden Planet stood still.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice. Write it up, James.
Nice one. Nice.
Okay, good.
Well, believe it or not, we're back to the beginning. It's Jason Lindsay's turn.
All right.
Jason,
oh my God,
why don't you give us one?
I think he gulps down his Fresca.
This is a lot of pressure because I had some clever stuff here, but okay, so this is genre to me. Okay.
You. Okay.
Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Okay, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Jack McGee from The Incredible Hulk.
Oh,
the intrepid, the dogged reporter who kept going after Bill Bixby in the series. I like.
I don't know that show as well, but
Jack Colvin, right? I like that character.
Jason, that's a good one. It took me a moment, but wow,
they're both similar. Yeah,
yes.
I mean, as far as perseverance,
I need information here.
Okay. What was it? Who was the showrunner of the show? Who was the guys?
I don't need that much information.
Kenneth Johnson's 70s Hulk TV series, which was basically The Fugitive with the Hulk.
Right. Okay. And we know what it is.
David Banner was on the run, and there was a reporter who suspected that David Banner was the Hulk. And through the whole series, he would go after him, and he always get there too late. But and like he can never prove it. But he would go after him. He was tenacious and never stopped.
I have a question.
He'd written some articles, like some, Hulk sighted again.
And nobody believed him. It was like it was like Kolchak. Yeah, it was like Kolchak, and then nobody believed him. But he would be knew that the Hulk was real. Yeah. Questions. Yeah, it's a great pair up though.
Okay, here's my question, because I don't remember all the episodes. Could you tell me, was there an episode or several episodes where he actually confronted the Hulk? Like there was any kind of physical altercation?
No, there was no. I don't think there. I think he sees him.
He sees him.
Closer to him.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Right. And he definitely meets what was then called not Bruce Banner, but David Banner.
David Banner.
Show.
Right.
And he kind of starts to suspect that maybe there's a connection.
Right.
But it's one of those, like, they just kind of miss each other sort of thing.
Yeah, it was this cat and mouse game through the whole series. Mouse. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, look, I have to go with Kolchak though. But if only for this, because wait, what's the character's name in the Hulk?
Jack McGee.
Jack McGee. Okay, so Jack McGee, because Jack Colvin is the actor's name, I think, right?
I think you're right.
So. Yeah. So okay, so Jack McGee, yes, he is going after one monster, the Hulk, and he's going after him. He's always there to see the wreckage and the aftermath of what the Hulk's done. Kolchak has had multiple face-to-face battles with all kinds of monsters and survived and stayed dogged and keeps going, and he doesn't care if anybody believes him. He keeps doing it. He's from werewolves to vampires to Satan himself. Got to be Kolchak.
There you
go. I think it's more that how do they both keep their jobs? Like they write these articles.
Nobody knows.
Well, so we need a third one.
Job longer.
No. Jason, you bring up a good thing. I think Kolchak has a better gig because all the things that happened to him, he writes about these things. Whereas McGee, it's the same guys.
It's one obsession.
It's almost like he's going after Bigfoot. However, Sean, maybe I'm gonna, ruffle little feathers here. I think I'm gonna go with Jack McGee, and I'll tell you why. I think, yes, Kolchak has been in battle with these guys, but it's not like a muscular battle. It's been
yes,
more
it
like,
is.
Well,
he's tussled with cavemen.
I think
with werewolves.
He fought a vampire.
I think he's older.
He mixed it up with a vampire.
No,
I think he's a little slower.
He is not.
I think
slow.
Jack McGee is younger.
Way. Jack Colvin. If Jack Colvin saw a werewolf, it's done. I mean, if werewolf came after Jack McGee,
Sean, it's not him going into a room with a werewolf. It's him going after Kolchak, and I think he would look at Kolchak and go,
But because Kolchak has fought and won against actual monsters, you can be a regular human reporter, a fellow reporter.
Yeah,
he fought a vampire and won.
So I'm just gonna jump in here for a second.
Please, Jason.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I guess I didn't. I understood the assignment. I really did. I'd like to think I did.
I'm starting to think not, but okay.
No, but I didn't realize that this was literally going to always be, two people in a locked room beating the shit out of each other. Well, that's what it came to.
What part of who would win don't you understand?
The locked room is like theoretical.
If it's Professor X and some other guy in a wheelchair or whatever, and they're not using their fists, they're not beating each other up. Every one of
they're
these
using their powers.
In other words, Jason, it's simply a controlled arena where these people will fight, where there's no interference from outside.
Okay, so I'm thinking
it's like I'm talking to Larry
what they've been
now.
through, their perseverance, etc. I didn't think every one of these was going to end with a death. And
it's a cage match to the death.
Hey, no one said it's like two characters enter, one character leaves.
I'm gonna take off my 1986 Alan Moore versus 2023 Alan Moore. I'm gonna take that off the list.
Listen, did you think that
clearly too esoteric for the episode? I apologize.
Did you think that Kolchak and this other guy were gonna sit down and have and write separate articles?
Yeah, typewriters.
It could be like
a typewriting match.
You got to go find the chupacabra in a room and not be scared, and you got to go do whatever and use whatever's around, whatever. Who comes out the winner? I didn't think they were going to both roll their sleeves up and hit each other with fucking beer bottles.
No, it's a fight.
So you've never had this? Did you ever play this game as a kid?
Yes, of course I did. But I looked at the list too, and it was like there's some stuff there that's not like people aren't always physically.
Every single one of them is physical.
Well,
every one of them,
Jason.
Yes,
who memorized all the lists.
We've been going through it we've been going through this logically, like the intelligent people that we are.
Anymore. I'm not doing logic anymore. Everything from this point on is going to be.
But I have to hear your
Thunderdome death match.
Yes.
And enter, one man leaves.
But knowing that, Jason,
head cut off.
But what's your answer though?
What's your answer?
Those two.
You can't leave without answering, sir.
I'm gonna say Kolchak. Okay. Because Kolchak has managed to keep a job with the wackiest, most insane story pitches of all time.
I still don't understand.
Nobody
still don't get it.
So
it's not who enters a room and keeps their job.
It's who has the best grammar in their reports.
I know this is ultimately about who had the best grammar and who gets to keep their health benefits at their job.
Right.
If they go in and they have a battle of who did the best story and wins the Pulitzer. But apparently I'm just too hoity-toity for this particular topic. I apologize. From this point on, nothing but a bloodbath.
I want to know what James. I want to know what James thinks.
William Faulkner. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for ruining that one. I had Faulkner versus Salinger, so I'm going to take that off the list now too. I thought Faulkner would win because Salinger was such a recluse that he'd never leave the house. But forget that. I'm taking it off the list.
This is great, Jason, but we do have a fourth member of Monster Party. So James,
James, please.
James, can you?
I give it to the 2023 Alan Moore because he's sufficiently pissed off, and I think he would the 1986 Alan Moore.
Oh, that's the wrong person.
Kolchak, okay, Kolchak. I give it to Kolchak.
All right, okay.
Even based on the pilot movie alone, I give it to Kolchak.
Yes.
Okay, what about Kolchak versus the dad in A Christmas Story? Who wins?
Okay, listeners, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. We're all a little nutty here.
That's a great matchup.
Nutty.
That's a great
crazy,
message.
man.
We've gone bonkers.
So we've all had our moments. We've all had our moments. No, Jason. No, you had your turn. Now it's my turn. Okay.
All right. Sorry.
All right, go.
It's your turn to be quiet. Okay.
All right. Go,
So I'm going to give you two that really just boggle my mind here. Okay.
All right,
imagine Lizzie Borden from the 2014 Christina Ricci Lizzie Borden Took an Axe TV movie. Okay, you all remember that one?
Christina Ricci?
No, I haven't seen that, but okay.
I
haven't seen it, but please.
Okay, well, it's better than the 75, The Legend of Lizzie Borden with Elizabeth Montgomery, but they're both good.
It's better because that's a
How dare
great
you.
TV movie.
That
That is a
goes without
fantastic.
saying.
That is a classic.
Okay.
Samantha with an axe? Come on.
Versus Mickey Mouse from 1940s Fantasia, where he mercilessly hacks up the broom with an axe. Okay,
You're obsessed with Mickey from that movie. Like you brought him up so many times with the broom.
Oh, have I really?
The axe? No, I think you're haunted by that, Larry. Genuinely haunted.
Sean, you don't think that's haunting?
It is.
One time you see Mickey Mouse as an axe murderer.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, it's so frightening. They don't show you the actual action. They show a silhouette where it's his shadow with an axe hacking up that poor little broom, and it's and he goes into like pieces, and then the little broom is running around like a chicken with its head cut off.
Jason, I'd like to apologize.
Yes, I was just going to say, is there anything you'd like to say about the last category that
I want to take it all back. Okay, wait a minute. First of all, one is a sorcerer. Albeit an apprentice.
Sorcerer's apprentice.
Okay,
he's an apprentice,
and one is a disturbed lady.
Right. Yes.
Well,
I know who wins here.
They both.
One's a mouse.
To James Gonis has two little kids in a room here fight and kill each other. This is no different.
Yeah, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
Six
okay. Look, that's not the point. The point is
a comic named Rick Reynolds Rick Reynolds had a bit where he said, "Wouldn't a baby kill you for a cookie?"
Yes, we know that. See, I'm playing the game, and you're like, "Oh, I want to play this part." No, two characters enter a room, one character leaves. I'm giving you.
That's easy.
Okay. All right. But I want to know what our guest thinks. Why don't we let our guest talk?
Jason?
Well, off the top of my head, I have more experience with disturbed ladies than sorcerer's apprentices. So I'm going to give the edge to Lizzie Borden. Just because I think Mickey would also feel guilty and probably turn himself in immediately. But I think she, as Matt said, it's a very disturbed character, and you don't know what you're going to get. I'm going with Lizzie Borden.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Okay.
Sean?
That for that reason, but also because she's a human. She literally towers over Mickey, and because she's disturbed, I don't think she'll have no remorse or second thoughts. And I think Mickey is a genuinely good, positive being. Like he's a good mouse. I mean, he doesn't want to do. He only had to do that in Fantasia because he had to. The broom was getting out of control, right? But Lizzie is just like she's off her rocker. She snapped. She has had this horrible family and this horrible life. And again, she's looking down on Mickey. She's just going to take the axe. She'd be more forceful of a fighter too.
You don't think Mickey would realize that his life is in danger, and for him to bring happiness to the world, he's going to need to kill.
Well, he would try. He would certainly give it a good try. But I think Lizzie's just going to. Yeah,
Now, Larry, I want to apologize to you because the nuances that are coming up here are surprising to me, to say the least. For me, I mean, look, one is a sorcerer's apprentice, dabbling in the occult, spells, changing things, making brooms come alive. And then you've got the crazy lady. And here's the other thing, too. Forget about the magic for a second. Have you ever tried to hit a mouse with an axe?
Yeah.
Not
it's
lately.
Not easy.
Yeah.
I go to a range on the weekends, and they give you an axe, and they just let you out in a field. It's a great way to kind of just pass the weekend. But it's really hard to catch a mouse, a human being towering over a mouse, especially if that mouse. Especially if that mouse has occult powers. Once again, supernatural creature.
But does Mickey have it for? I guess in this particular showdown, Mickey has those powers, or is he just Mickey with an axe?
Of course.
Yeah,
well, yeah, but yeah.
Well, I think ironically that if Lizzie had a broom instead of an axe, she'd have a better chance against Mickey. But yeah, I mean, he's a little mouse, and I could just see her chasing him around the barn or whatever, and that he can run into a hole. And yeah, if he's got the powers,
but okay.
If he's got the powers, then he can a room, right? But if he's still got some semblance of magical powers, then he can trip her up. He can make shit happen. So I'd have to give it to Mickey. Yeah.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
Interesting.
Voice of fucking reason.
Okay, now I'm gonna circle back. To what Matt said. Yes, it's a mouse, but he's about as tall as where the broom straws start to the floor.
It's just perspective.
He's not a little mouse you put in your pocket. He's about 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall.
He's an anthropomorphic mouse. Yeah.
But he still has the mouse.
And they've managed to find him a robe. They found him a robe and a hat. You can't get that kind of outfit on get that outfit on a tiny mouse. I think Lizzie would have an easier time with Mickey because of his size than, yes, if she was chasing a tiny little mouse around the house, that would be more difficult.
He's not a child. He's not a child, Jason.
He's not a child.
He's seen things.
Move.
He moves.
And that robe might be hard to run around in too. He could trip on the robe.
She's a dress. Yep. She's wearing a dress.
He's a mouse with 1,000-yard stare. I'm telling you.
Well, look, maybe we'll just say it's a tie.
No.
Well, we got to do
two of you are leaning towards Mickey. 2 of you are leaning towards Lizzie, and I'm here to break that tie.
All right.
And everyone brings up great concepts here, and I just feel that although Lizzie is maybe the nutty lady, I do think that Mickey would do her in.
Boom.
Interesting.
There you go.
Okay.
So
well, it's been great having you, Jason.
Thanks so much. Let's do this again next week.
So that's mine. So Sean, why don't you give us?
Could kill the other.
Sean, why don't you give us one?
Okay, this one I think would be pretty evenly matched. I think. Okay, first one is a person who is suffering from the rage virus from 28 days later. Okay. Ooh. A living person, just as a reminder, not a zombie, not a dead person. This person has the rage virus. Versus somebody hopped up on blue sunshine.
Oh,
I like it.
Very similar.
Oh, Sean, that's hard.
Very similar, pure unfettered rage. I mean, they've just become murderous psychopaths.
Yeah. Sean, can you remind our listeners, Blue Sunshine?
Well, Blue Sunshine, movie made in the 70s. And basically the idea was these college kids in the 60s took this experimental drug called Blue Sunshine and, enjoyed its effects, but not realizing that 10 years later, it has a very, very disturbing after effect. You start losing all your hair and you basically go nuts and want to kill people.
Yeah.
Which is very similar to what the rage virus is in 28 days later.
Wow.
That's and both kind of you get manic and the adrenaline, like the guy in the disco and Blue Sunshine, he's like nothing's stopping that guy, he just you can keep going even if you're like hit or stabbed or whatever. Like it's just two animals going after each other. They're humans, but they're like animals.
If we went by the first guy in Blue Sunshine, who is at the party,
right? He's kind of right.
Because there's a moment before you go nuts.
Yeah.
He's singing and he seems to be enjoying the party. And then the minute his wig is removed and we see that he's bald.
You see the eyes.
Yeah. And that's when he goes berserk. Now, he's pretty powerful. He's throwing people in the fireplace. I mean, he's doing a lot of stuff. And also, he still has traces of his human mind, obviously. So he knows how to use a knife. Whereas the rage zombies, I don't think are that clever. Like they don't use tools or anything like that.
No, they're more like
charge at you.
They are. They might be faster. Maybe
they might be faster, but and also here's the thing too: is as much as I want to give it to Blue Sunshine, have you ever been in one of those fights or if anyone who's ever done martial arts, where you're using all your moves and everything? And nothing seems to work. And then you just rush the guy. And that works. And there's something about somebody just running at you.
I will say, yeah, but in the military complex in 28 Days Later, isn't it military guys who get it and they're in great physical shape? So maybe they're running faster because their bodies are in better shape.
There are regular civilians who get it too in that movie.
Yeah,
they're pretty quick.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling though, if you were like in not great shape, maybe a little overweight, it wouldn't matter though. Once you get that virus,
Oh no! If I get that virus, I'd be slow. I wouldn't be able to keep it up, Sean. There's no fucking way.
But if it's like a room with one of those each in there, I don't know. I'm kind of torn. What Matt said though, I think it gives me the answer though, is that I do think even though you're completely freaking out in Blue Sunshine, you're kind of aware of it. You're kind of aware of your surroundings, maybe a little bit more than whereas the rage virus, you're almost like tunnel vision. You're just like, maybe the Blue Sunshine person would have the upper hand by just maneuvering and being able to think a little bit along with your action. So I think I'm going to go with Blue Sunshine by a very narrow margin.
Sean, I'm going to go with that too. As we're talking through it logically, it just seems like there may be just a small piece of, I don't want to say humanity, but something where you're able to think about grabbing something.
Maybe that's it.
I lean towards the Blue Sunshine person over the other one. That's how I agree.
Jason, how about you?
Jason,
I haven't seen Blue Sunshine in a long time, but it's in my queue, as Matt knows.
Okay. All right.
But I'm gonna go 28 Days Later.
Okay.
Because it's such a visceral, like fever, like a top that's been spun almost, or like a Tasmanian devil. Like nothing is getting in the way, and then on top of the destruction, you've got the hunger, and so that I think gives it the edge to me, where it's just like ripping throats out and eating brains and tearing people from limb to limb, and it would be like a lawnmower that got out of control.
Right. Okay. I like this. I can see that. Yeah.
But that's a great matchup. That's a great matchup.
I agree with the exact same reason Jason just said. Yep.
Okay.
It's very close for me too, because here's the thing. I think that with somebody who's just this wild animal that's coming at you, initially that might work. But the minute someone gets a hold of you, and they're strong and they're crazy as well, and they're being fueled by a virus and have maybe a little bit of their marbles left, they can actually think of, hey, I'm going to put my fingers through your eyes or something like that.
Right.
Incapacitate you, because initially, the guy running at you is going to put you off balance. But I think if there's a little more fighting to be done, I'm going to put it in the hands of Blue Sunshine. So that's where I'm going.
All right.
It's a really good. That's a great one, though. Good one.
That's a really well thought out.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than the one I did about
Golda Meir,
Kolchak and Golda Meir versus Kolchak.
It is. But let's see what James is going to come up with. Let's see if he throws another couple of kids in a room. All right, James. What do you do now? What, babies now? What? Little dogs?
Mother Teresa versus.
The cast of Kindergarten Cop.
Okay, well, this is pretty elemental, and it might come off as very obvious, but I'm not so sure. But Frankenstein's monster, versus Dracula.
Which Frankenstein and which Dracula?
Which version?
Doesn't matter.
Here we go.
Doesn't even really matter.
Come on, you can't do that. You got to give me a Frankenstein monster and give me a Dracula.
We haven't done this one before.
I don't think so. We did Dracula. We did Dracula versus the Wolfman.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I don't have any specific iteration in mind. Honestly, it's just the characters and their abilities, their supernatural abilities, such as they are.
I have the answer.
Go.
You always have the answer.
I have. You know what? I have the answers for you guys.
I think I know where Matt is going to go.
It has to be Dracula.
Yes.
Because
it's
a
supernatural.
Natural.
If I learned anything on this show, it's that from Matt.
Dracula can turn into things, but here's the other thing, and we are given a clue to why he would win. In Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. He's controlling Frankenstein.
Absolutely, yeah, totally.
I'm out.
He's an intelligent, thinking immortal who can hypnotize Frankenstein's monster can barely think for himself. Yes, he's huge and strong.
And you said any version.
And he's not fast. He's lumbering. I mean, all Dracula has to do is do the thing with his hands, and he's got him under control and kill him.
Even if we went to the most dynamic, charming, movable Frankenstein, which might have been Frankenstein, the true story, I still go with Matt's thing. Whether it be Bela Lugosi as Dracula or because he beat me over the head with that thing about supernatural beings. So that's the one thing I've never forgotten. And also because, James, you're opening it up because you're not giving us an option. It's this Dracula versus this Frankenstein. So I think
I don't know that it really matters, honestly.
But I don't think that matters either. Only because, here's what I'd say is that Frankenstein's monster is also fairly childlike.
Yes.
And has an innocence. Mm-hmm. And so let's say Dracula's not a bat freaking him out or a wolf freaking him out. The second, if Dracula gets in there and gets onto his neck, let's say, or whatever, it would alarm Frankenstein's monster. I think he would be the pain and the shock of it. Like, he doesn't like fire, and he's sort of, he's destructive, but he's also kind of childlike in his responses to things.
Right.
Jason, I think that would give him the edge too.
Jason, wouldn't he also be able to charm him, as say the old man did, or Dr. Pretorius?
Yeah,
or just with the pheromones that Dracula gives off, where he has that.
Yeah, he'd be hot for him.
He'd be in a manner of speaking, but he's a very sensual creature. He's a sensual being, and he could use. He seduces. He could use that, not in a
sexual, but just a hypnotic way. Yeah, right.
Although that would be a great film. That would be a great Forgotten Hammer film.
That would be a good film.
The hypnosis I could see. The hypnosis I hadn't considered, but yes, that would give Dracula the edge for sure. My thinking, as limited as it was that if they were in a room together, and if they were scrapping, and considering Frankenstein's strength, the Frankenstein monster's strength, then as a defense, Dracula, he could become a bat. He could try to get away, but if he actually had to fight. Again, taking away the hypnosis, which I honestly hadn't considered, then Dracula would, maybe put the bite on Frankenstein's monster, bite him in the neck, right?
Right.
What happens then? Frankenstein's monster becomes a vampire.
Who Dracula controls.
Well, but what if Dracula sucks all the blood out of Frankenstein?
Kills him.
Then the Frankenstein monster becomes even more susceptible because he doesn't realize he walks into the sun and disintegrates.
Okay. Well, then he
doesn't have the marbles to think about that.
Wow, your logic.
I like that a lot.
Well, plus all you guys,
logic just blew my mind.
But also, we've seen the ultimate Frankenstein versus Dracula scene in Al Adamson's 70s movie, Dracula versus Frankenstein, where literally Dracula, played by Zandor Vorkov, says to the Frankenstein monster, "I'm going to tear you apart bit by bit, just as you were put together." And he tears off his arms, his legs, and his head.
Finally, the head.
Dracula wins.
Yeah, that is true. Because we can't forget that, it's not just Dracula's a charismatic guy. Dracula is strong too.
Yes.
And of course, he is a supernatural being.
There you go.
Dracula.
And at the end of the day, he is a supernatural being.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh, God. All right.
Who's
Thanks,
next?
James.
Who's
That's
next?
Matt. It's Matt. Matt, why don't you take us out of this one?
I can't wait to tear this apart.
Here we go. No, this one you're going to like, Jason.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, because this is also with vampires. A
okay.
unique sort of vampire.
Blah, blah.
Okay.
So there are two movies from the 70s that are very similar in broad strokes when it comes to the plot.
Okay.
The first one is Messiah of Evil, 1973.
Nice.
The second one is Let's Scare Jessica to Death, 1971.
Nice double feature.
Both involve a town where there are people who are vampires of a sort who are populating the town. So my matchup is townsperson from Messiah of Evil versus townsperson from Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
I like that.
Wow.
Now, has everyone seen the films? in
I
question?
have not. I am sorry. I've only
You have
seen
not.
one of them.
Have you
I've
seen?
seen both.
James, have you seen any of them?
I saw Let's Scare Jessica to Death when I was a kid, but not since then. And I've not seen Messiah of Evil.
But
One
I
of
would
my
love-
favorite horror films of all time.
But I would love to hear what
I
you
love
guys
it.
have to think about it.
Okay. Well, since I posed this matchup, Sean, why don't you weigh in here?
Well, Lester, Jessica to Death, I think I've seen more also than Messiah of Evil. I have both films. They're both great movies, and the townspeople in both those movies are very similar. They're just kind of these creepy kind of ghouls almost. I mean, they look like humans, but they're pale, and they just look off, and they're creepy.
They can come out in the daytime.
Yeah.
I think from what I remember, though, I would say probably I would go with Messiah of Evil people because you see them actually attack people.
Yes.
You don't, in Let's Scare Jessica to Get to Death, it's all just looks and stares, and you sense that there's something definitely wrong, and maybe they're behind whatever's going on, but they never physically attack Jessica.
You never see them attack.
You never see them attack. But that's why also you start thinking, well, is it all in her mind or not?
Okay, we're not going to go there again.
No, I'm just saying, but that's how the movie plays. But
assuming
they are real. Still, though, I think, is the movie theater scene in Messiah of Evil?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
So good.
And but they're going after them. I mean, they're attacking them. So I mean, it's
wait,
physical.
I did see Messiah of Evil. I'm sorry.
It's
you mentioned the movie.
it's a great
What
movie.
show are you on?
I did not connect the title to the movie, but yes, it's a great movie.
So
yes.
both
Are you just
films.
spending all your time now just researching for Chitty podcast?
But no, I think Matt, I'm going to go with the Messiah of Evil folks for
Good
sure.
choice.
Yeah, I love both films.
Jason?
I'm going Messiah of Evil. I have to.
Right.
Not just because it's more visceral, but I think those are scarier entities. We don't know if they're supernatural beings. And
That's
that would
true. You don't really know
You
for
don't.
sure in either
That would
movie.
certainly put them over the top. But
Yeah.
I'm going to go Messiah of Evil. Yes.
Okay. And then James, because
It's
of
also
your
that
vague memory.
That supermarket scene too. Yes. Messiah
Yeah,
of
You
Evil.
remember the
yeah.
supermarket?
Oh, yes,
Okay. All right.
yes.
Good. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm definitely Messiah of Evil. And I would say one of the reasons why I choose them is at the very end, you've got these guys jumping through windows,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like action heroes, like coming through the
it's true.
window. Yeah, they're pretty tenacious. And the only thing that would change my mind about that is if, there's something that we don't see off screen in Let's Scare Jessica to Death that makes them not have to go through all that trouble. They can just lure people to them, but we don't get that. So I'm going with Messiah of Evil.
Matt, you know what? If you were to add a third group to that,
Go.
I would say the townsfolk from Lamora, Lady Dracula.
Ooh, now that would
Remember that weird, creepy Lovecraftian town where they're kind of animalistic people, kind of ghouls that you only see them a little bit, but they're just that'd be a good one too.
That would be a little tougher because they're more animal like.
Yeah. But good one though. Very good.
All right.
Nice.
Jason, back to you.
Oh shit!
All right.
Is it back to me again?
It is,
Yes.
my friend. It is.
This is much more specific than I thought it was going to be.
Gentle.
I'm not going to lie. All right, now okay. Here's one, and I know what you're thinking when you hear this, but think about it.
Okay.
Blade, the vampire hunter,
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
versus Captain Kronos, vampire hunter.
Mm.
There you go.
Ooh,
That's a good one. I like that.
I do like that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Well, I'll come back in a few minutes and see. What
No, that's
Can we go
great.
make-
That's great.
make
wait,
a peanut butter sandwich.
Remind me of Kronos in that was he ever bitten? He wasn't bitten, right? Or
No.
was he? So he's still completely
He is a human.
But
He
he's
is
just I know
Completely
he's
human.
I know he's
He's
like
still
a
human,
master
yeah.
swordsman and he knows all about vampires and how to stop
Yeah.
them, but he is
And I
pure
mean, he's-
human.
But he is a mofo swordsman. Like he
Oh, yeah.
is,
Yeah,
he
for sure.
is an incredible swordsman.
Yeah.
And not just with the ladies.
And Blade's half vampire though.
Half
Yeah.
vampire.
He is.
I mean,
half
and
vampire.
the way he kicks
That's
ass in
true.
those movies. I mean,
And maybe it has something to do too with. I look at it as the Blade world. It's more modern, I think, and just with the technology and his fighting skills, and don't want to take anything away from the sword fighting. Yeah. But I just feel that the technology and the modern style of fighting, I think and also going back to Matt, either it's slight, supernatural being slight because he's half.
Yeah, he'd move quicker. He had more better reflexes.
Yeah,
I think,
So that I'd lean towards Blade. That's where I go.
I think Cronus would give it a noble effort, and he would die a noble death. But it's going to go. It's going to go to Blade. It's going to go to Blade.
Well, and he would probably pull out all the tricks of killing a vampire as well, which he wouldn't know that wouldn't be as effective on Blade. But he would have all the tools needed. And I forget what kills Blade, or like what can kill him, because I know he's a daywalker, and I don't know what he. If he has some of the vulnerabilities of vampires.
He does.
But Kronos would know all that stuff too.
That's true.
And he could distract Blade with Caroline Munro.
And he'll have Caroline Munro with him.
True.
And that is one of his weapons.
My weapon.
Where I go with this is, initially I thought, like Larry did, Blade has modern technology. He's got guns. And so all of that helps. But Captain Kronos is an amazing sword fighter. And, he might, through agility, be able to do something to defeat Blade. But now I think that you have to then take away all of that and leave them with nothing, and then see
or at least in a level playing field.
And so it's got to be Blade.
Got to be Blade. All right,
I agree.
Nice, good one though.
Very good.
There you go. See, in and out.
Nice.
Like going into Wisconsin to get beer.
I don't know. This one might be kind of quick, but I do like this world here. What do you say? We have Caesar from War of the Planet of the Apes from 2017. This is the Matt Reeves directed version of Caesar, played by Andy Serkis, versus Lancelot Leake's Secret Chimp from the 1970s ABC Saturday morning TV show. And before everyone goes, it's a comedy, I want to just say one thing here. Lancelot Leake's Secret Chimp was a real chimp. And, he could talk. What? I know. Mind blown. He was a real chimp. But, he was played by a chimp called Tonga. And he was impersonating Humphrey Bogart, voiced by Dayton Allen. But if you had Lancelot Link with all that energy and stuff and mind and stuff,
jumping around,
going against Caesar, who, he can say some things. He has kind of control over all his ape herd and stuff. But if you have these two guys go in a room, don't you think Lancelot Link would go, "Hey, now, let's do this now"? And I mean,
Just give him some peanut butter and he'll talk up a storm.
He's gonna subdue Caesar with his Bogart impression.
All right, so
do it. That's his weapon of choice.
Two apes go in a room.
Well, I think I know what my answer is.
I think I know mine too. Yeah,
Jason, I'd love to know your answer.
Oh, you want me to go?
I would love to know.
I'm going to say Caesar, because I'm trying to remember the three films correctly, but they do start to walk. They do start. Well, they're well done, but I have such a hard time watching them because they just kind of break my heart, even though they're CGI. They're CGI chimps, and it's just I don't like seeing animals, kill each other with machine guns. But but isn't Caesar standing upright at a certain?
He's more. That would be
Lancelot Link. Lancelot Link does that too.
Not for long. He can't walk around for a while.
But he has a more humanoid body, right, as opposed to an actual
He's got a more humanoid body.
Yeah.
He's smarter, and he can probably knows how to use nunchucks and things like that. Whereas Lance, I think, although with the chimp, if you're talking about Lance Leake, he's probably an older chimp. You don't know what they're going to do, and they got quite a reach.
I would say he's a younger chimp because he hasn't got to the face ripping stage. Yeah, but I say Caesar. Right. It has to be Caesar.
Yeah,
Caesar just has the training, has the brains, and
I think Lancelot Link can maybe for a while, if he's jumping around like just crazily, he can maybe try to get the upper hand, but I think Caesar's just too cunning. He's a smart dude. He's gonna win.
Tell a joke.
He's a warrior.
Yeah, he's a yeah. He's tell a joke. Yeah.
Caesar,
No, I think it's Caesar.
Tell a joke. Is that what you said, Larry?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You learn to walk upright, use weapons, technology,
tell
learn some jokes. Tell some jokes.
Yeah.
James?
Well,
Caesar. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, there you go. So
Okay, moving on.
It's quick. I thought it'd be a little longer.
No, that's
discussion,
that's
a good
I
one.
like
I like
it.
It's fun. It was totally fun.
Anytime
Yeah.
Lancelot Link is brought up, come on.
Yeah, you can't lose.
Look, I know, like, in today we live in a different world, but there was a time back in the 70s when something like that, it was fun, and I
Oh my
watched
God!
it,
Yeah.
although
fantastic.
I when I was given a choice of a Halloween costume, all I had as my options were Lancelot, League, Secret Chimp, and Mickey Mouse from Sorcerer's Apprentice from Fantasia, and you guys know which way I went. So,
Right. Love it.
Anyway,
I love that. There was a time back in the 70s when you could abuse animals like that.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Come on.
Yeah,
there's a lot of peanut butter that was used. Come on.
I know.
So-
They had happy lives. What could possibly have gone
Yes,
wrong
they're
for those
TV
animals?
stars.
Yes,
All right.
exactly.
Those-
Lunchbox.
Let's all be real here. Those chimps got the shit kicked out of them every day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Shit kicked out of
Sure.
them endlessly.
I'm
every
sorry
day.
for bringing it. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
No, I'm
it's
glad you
okay.
did.
Oh no.
Well, Sean, why don't you take me out of this hole here?
Okay, this one I think as well would be. I think this would be a good matchup as well. Here we go. Roy Batty
Okay.
versus
Okay.
Khan Noonien Singh.
Oh,
Wow.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Think about
Sean.
it. Think about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not sure of the answer either. Intellectually superior,
what-
physically superior.
Which con am I? Which con am I going with here?
Well, I mean,
Classic
Ricardo
Star
Mal-
Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek classic. Star
Classic.
Trek. Yeah, a slightly younger Khan. Yeah, so he.
Okay, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, good one, Sean.
Yeah, both. I mean, formidable adversaries, right? I mean, in a
Both
room
smart.
fighting, that would be a brawl.
Yeah.
That would be a freaking brawl, man. Neither's going to
really
go down
Okay,
quick.
can I ask a
that's a
question?
good matchup because of the eugenics and the
Right.
being
and
a replicant.
The
Ooh,
replicants,
that's
right?
good.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
similar. They're both programmed to be superior in every way.
Yeah,
I got it.
And yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay,
step back.
what's
You
your
guys
answer?
I
go.
don't know. My mind is just trying to figure this out. Matt, I'm curious to hear what your logic here. Go ahead.
Well, what do we know from Star Trek? Kirk kicked his ass.
He didn't kick his ass, Matt.
Yes, he did. Defeated him.
No.
He did. No,
He
yes,
kicked
he
his ass.
did.
Yes,
He
he
did
did.
kick his ass in the
Space Seed.
No,
In Space Seed,
he didn't
kicked his
kick
ass.
his. No,
He defeated him.
He did defeat him, but he
Beat
didn't
him up.
get. He got his ass
engineering.
kicked.
He kicked his. Yeah.
It was a tough fight, but he
Sean, remember physically, he was fighting. He wasn't successful. He had to have a tool. Kirk had to have a tool to overcome a Khan.
He outthought the genetically enhanced.
Yeah, yes, but
Yeah,
Matt,
that's true.
But my point is, he didn't kick his ass.
he
He
beat him.
defeated.
It was
no,
a pretty well.
he
It was a pretty.
defeated him.
But it was a pretty well. I would say it was a pretty well balanced fight. But what you
Yes.
said about foxing was true because remember in Wrath of Khan, remember what Spock
Again?
says. What Spock says he tends to think in two dimensions, two-dimensional
thinking.
And I think Roy Batty, he's in charge of all those replicants and trying to get to Tyrell and all that. Like he's in control. He's thinking and he's a leader.
He
I mean,
stops
so is
his
Khan.
own death.
Yeah.
He postpones his own death.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, and also, I mean, look at when Decker smacks him in the head with that pipe, and he just goes, "That hurt."
Oh.
You know? I mean, like, ooh, that's the spirit.
no.
You know, like I mean, I think
yes.
there's so much like I don't underestimate Khan, but I think when it came down to it, Roy would get the upper hand.
It's funny,
I did.
Sean, you should say that because as I'm thinking about it now, it was almost as if the fight with Decker and getting hit and injured, it almost like excited him. It's like,
and-
I
and-
can
yeah,
feel that.
adrenaline.
Whereas
Yeah.
Khan would get upset. He would get angry. And so, at first I was going to go with Khan, but now I've I've switched. I'm in the Roy Batty.
I think me too. Yeah.
Well, would Khan have one of those leeches that he could put in Roy Batty's ear?
No, it's just brute strength.
Yeah.
I'm going. Yeah. So go ahead. Who's next? I'm sorry.
I'll go with Batty. Yeah.
Jason,
I got to go Roy Batty because those models, if I'm recalling this correctly, were designed for kind of grunt work, and on outer space, off-world, on colonies, moving big items around, and not big ticket items like Bloomingdale's, but like big construction type things. So I think he's just brute force. I think he's built for a specific job, and I think to be fair, we don't really see the extent. We get an idea of how strong Khan is. Right. But we didn't see him like fight Spock. Like that would be a better kind of matchup because Spock's got some more strength. We don't quite see. I mean, Batty's dealing with puny humans, kind of, or depending on what theory you believe.
We do see Khan take a phaser. We do see Khan take a phaser and crush it literally.
Yeah. That's right.
But Batty also is he has a very short shelf life. He's like, it's the candle that burns, the short candle that burns brightly. He's gonna get the most of every second of his life because he knows he's on borrowed time. So I mean, like I said, I think it wouldn't be an easy win though. I think
it would be a great match,
knockout, drag down fight.
Yeah,
but I think
it would be a great fight. Yeah, it would be an awesome fight. I'm going with Batty though.
Yeah, it's a good matchup, James.
Wonderful.
Cool, James. What do you think? Would you agree?
Yeah, Batty for sure.
Yeah.
Sean, that was a good one though. That was a good. I had to think about that. Even though we all agree, it really made us think.
It's like you want to see it. You want to see it. You want to see it.
Yeah.
Now, finally, this game is starting to make sense.
All right, James. Why don't you give us a good one here?
All right.
Make it good. Make it good, James.
Oh boy, the pressure. Blair Witch.
Okay.
The Blair Witch. Okay.
Versus Witchy Poo from Puffin Stuff.
Witchy Poo from Puffin Stuff. I like this because you gotta really review.
Let me think about this. I gotta think about this.
Yeah. Witchy Poo. Okay.
Does she have her? Can she use her vroom broom?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Or weapon.
Well, on the surface, it seems like Witchy Poo has more of a bag, even though like comical Witchy Poo has more of a bag of tricks than Blair Witch.
But the Blair Witch is like an unseen almost force.
But it just seems like there's like limitations though.
I don't know.
I think I know how I'm going to go on this.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's got to be the Blair Witch because, by the end with all the weird mind game shit, like Witchy Poo is so excitable.
Yeah.
That's
easily fooled too.
Yeah. And so with all the mind game kind of things that the Blair Witch could do with the baby crying and, and all that stuff, that anything that would unnerve Witchy Poo, puffing stuff out there in the woods going, Jack Wild in the distance going, how lucky I am,
Witchy Poo is easily foiled. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now,
and then by the end, they'd be all in the castle facing the wall,
Yeah, exactly. Now, if Witchy Poo had Stupid Bat to help her, maybe, but she doesn't. So my favorite character in the entire series is Stupid Bat.
I love Stupid Bat.
No, I think just psychologically, and Blair Witch would just get. It might take a while, but it would be a slow burn. Like she just slowly drive Witchy Poo insane, and we don't even know what the Blair Witch looks like. I mean, we don't even know what form she takes. I mean, it's just more, but that's all the more reason that she'd be more powerful to me.
It's funny, James. My first feeling was going towards Witchy Poo, just because of just the bag of tricks. But I think Sean and Matt, they're right. If she has been fooled easily, and I think that is her crux, I guess. That is her issue. So I agree with Sean too that it may take a while, but I do think the constant pounding or whatever it is, and maybe there's a lack of, because Blair Witch is more mysterious than Witchy Poo. that maybe now I'm leaning towards Blair Witch.
Jason,
I'm gonna go Blair Witch.
Yeah,
I had to think about it though, because I had to do the Wayback Machine with what Witchy Poo could do.
Right.
But I'm gonna go Blair Witch because she's an entity as well, right? I mean, it's kind of like
We don't even really know exactly what she is, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I did look at it as a bit of a potential contest because you do have the potential advantage with Witchy Poo of the direct approach. She could just zap. Okay, just zap Blair Witch, just zap her, whatever. But then
what is she aiming at?
Well,
what is she aiming at? Right?
What is she aiming at? You don't, it could be, so it's Blair Witch for me too. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but that was still good. I needed to think about that.
So
I
like it.
All right.
That's a
very good.
Nice one, James. Much better.
Very
That's good.
Okay.
All right, Matt.
Okay. Here you go.
Make it good.
Here you go.
Yeah, do a good one, Matt.
There you go. This is it. Strap yourselves in, everybody. Okay. There was a movie in 1958 entitled War of the Colossal Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It was the sequel to The Amazing Colossal Man.
And a better film, too.
And a scarier film.
A scarier film. Yeah. I do love the first one, but... Yeah.
I do, too, yes. But so it involves Glenn Manning becomes an amazing colossal man in the first one.
Right.
And then he is injured.
Yeah.
And now his face is all fucked up and his mind is also fucked up.
Yes.
And it was already kind of going that way in the first one.
Yeah.
But now he's really fucked up. So he's almost like an animal.
Yeah, he's a monster, a true monster.
He's a true monster now. So he's a giant colossal beast, which is redundant, but so he's walking around and he's, he thinks now he's away from people and he thinks, hey, in his very primitive mind, he's like, I'm safe now. But what should come leaping out of the woods? A lepus.
Oh.
Interesting, because they're kind of around the same size, too.
They're kind of around the same size. And now if we did the Amazing Colossal Man, he'd have more of his marbles.
Yes, right.
To try to figure out, I could set up a trap or whatever, a big carrot, or a bunch of carrots. Yeah. Or draw a picture of a carrot,
Right.
But now he's more like an animal. And so, they're, about the same size. So you got really an animal versus an animal-like man.
Yeah.
Now, Jason, have you seen either of these movies?
Okay. I have seen the first, The Amazing Colossal Man. That's the first one.
Right.
I've seen that. And I've seen, are we talking about Night of the Lepus?
Night of the
Lepus.
Lepus is the French title.
I saw the Italian version.
Okay, in the preview, they say it several times. Night of the Lepus.
The Italian version has a lot more nudity, but anyway.
A lot more nudity in the Italian version and a lot more hand gestures.
What are you going to do with these giant rabbits?
And unfortunately, the nudity is DeForest Kelly nudity. So.
Right.
Okay.
That's a good one, though.
That's a tough one because I've only seen Night of the Lepus.
You see Night of the Lepus and you see The Amazing Colossal Man. Just imagine them, and you haven't seen War of the Colossal Beast. So just imagine a giant man who is like growling. His face is all fucked up, and
his face is messed up, right?
Yeah, it's really odd. Still
great makeup.
I can't believe they get away with that actually back in the 50s because it's like a person's entire face is torn off with like a socket in the skull. Like I'm just surprised that they let that monster design fly back in the 50s. Like it's
do you remember that? Do you remember the book, the monster movie or horror movie book from the early 70s? It's got kind of a greenish art. Greenish kind of cover.
Hell yeah, we know that one.
Yeah.
Pictorial history of horror movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dennis Gifford.
I could be wrong, but I seem to remember as a kid a picture of that.
It's on there.
There probably is. Yes, I'm sure. Yeah.
And that's how I first knew what it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with The Amazing Colossal Man. I think he would go to town. I think he'd try to because he was not fully animal yet, but and kind of berserk. But you're saying he's fighting a lepus, right?
Okay,
Lepus.
stop it.
Let me try that again.
It's the colossal, but it's the colossal beast, though, right? It's not. It's the
Colossal beast.
Friday,
where he's more.
Now let me remind you. The lepus are giant rabbits.
Yes,
with a killer
Bunnies.
instinct.
Yes, they attack people and eat.
So they're not just
savage.
hopping around down bunny trail.
Yeah, they're not saying "What's up, Doc?"
Yeah,
I know,
they are out for blood, and they have teeth.
How many lepus?
Well, just be the one.
Well, it's going to be one.
Yeah.
Just the
So
one. Okay,
one lepus
in a cage.
I'm going.
And they've got teeth and they've got claws too.
Yeah.
I'm giving the edge.
And they
to
can
the
jump
I'm sorry.
like hell.
Hey, Jason.
But they move slower when they're big.
No,
They do.
Motions
Well,
don't
yeah,
remember.
Well,
yes.
Jason, have you ever seen Watership Down? You ever see rabbits fight?
Yes. But it was. I saw the
Quite
Italian one. It
terrifying.
was called Watership Down.
With the ship.
It had a different pronunciation. Like
Okay,
that.
Matt,
Yes.
Maybe call me crazy because you know how much
You're
I
crazy.
despise that
crazy.
film.
I know.
But it is true that to me that the colossal beast does not have all his marbles.
No,
Yes.
no.
And not to say that a giant lepus would be that much smarter, but I'm
Right.
thinking
Has
about
all its marbles.
the claws. I'm thinking about the claws and the teeth, and
There you go.
just the rabidness of the lepus.
Right.
So I, as crazy as it sounds, I lean towards the lepus in this
Good
one.
man.
So do I, because
I see. There's a right and wrong answer. I was unaware that this was played. I apologize. I'm going to change my answer now because
No,
apparently
you can't change it now.
I'm the odd man
it's
out.
not-
I'm going to go with the
the
giant rabbit. I'm going to go with the giant rabbit now.
the colossal beast is slow also physically. He goes "Rrr," he's very slow, and the lepus, it's a savage animal. Again, if it was the amazing colossal man, when he is
more
not
of an edge.
the colossal beast is just he's screwed up, and he doesn't react that fast. And I think that the lepus just go right for his throat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just jump on him.
You're entitled to believe that if you want.
James?
Yeah. Lepus.
Now a lepus, that'd be a different
The
situation.
lepus, yes.
Lepus.
I give it to the lepus.
But I love that.
Lepus.
I love that
See.
Night Lepus shows up again in the episode.
Aldo.
I'm thrilled.
I can't believe it.
It works though, right?
It does.
Yeah.
And
always
that
works.
was a very, very good one.
Thank you, Larry.
Very good one.
And-
Very good one. Best
Thank
one
you,
yet.
Jason.
Well, this has been great. This has
It
been
has
a lot of
been.
fun. I
Yes.
mean,
This has been a really good one, actually.
Yeah.
This is
it seems like we haven't done a lot, but we've really
no, but
great
we've gone into
discussions.
and we've gone into them
Really?
more deep. I like that.
Hopefully, listeners at home, I mean, hopefully you've enjoyed this and have battled with us too. I think everyone's brought up really great
Yes.
battles here and
I
great
agree.
discussions. So what do you say we do a lightning round?
Let's
huh?
do the
Lightning
lightning
round.
You know,
Right.
do like one or two really quickly, and Jason, why don't you start? Just throw
Go
a
for
couple out there.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Captain Scarlet versus Deadpool.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
interesting.
Captain Scarlet can't be killed.
Right.
That's
He's
true.
indestructible.
You're right.
Right. That's
You're
right.
right.
And
There's your answer. There's your
Deadpool is
answer.
pretty close to that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he can ultimately die. I think.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. But that's I see where you were going though. I like that.
Yeah.
Can Deadpool, like you can cut him up and put him back together, like his head comes off and his arms come off and stuff. And Scarlet, I don't know if you can cut him up. Can you?
I don't
Well,
know,
he's
yeah.
been like blown up and has survived. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I just know that like that was like the gist of that show. Like he's like he can't be killed.
He's indestructible. That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
apparently,
That's fun.
That's
Yeah.
fun, but I'm going to go with Deadpool.
all right.
Really?
Moving on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay.
All right.
Nice
What
one.
else?
What else?
Jason, you want to throw another one at
Yeah,
us?
throw a couple other quick ones.
Just give us another one.
This one was specially for Matt.
Okay.
Shogun Warriors
Yeah, good.
Okay.
versus Mobile Suit Gundam.
Ooh. We're talking about toys, right?
Are we though?
Or anime?
I am.
Which Shogun warrior?
To me, hands down, it's Shogun.
You
Shogun
choose
Warriors.
choose the two best to go mano a mano. Tell me who would win: a Mobile Suit Gundam versus a Shogun Warrior.
Mazinga.
Well, even though Shogun Warriors are stylish and just aesthetically pleasing, I feel like the Gundams are made for combat. They seem like tanks. So, yeah, even though, the Shogun Warriors have missiles and things like that, I'm going to go with Gundam.
Cool. Shogun Warriors, man. I'm going with Shogun Warriors just because they're cool and fun, and I love those toys more than the Gundam ones.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you thought this through. So
I'm going to go with Gundam. Though, like Matt, you said, they're more like a hard battle vehicle in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. Okay.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Anything else?
All right.
Yeah, those two are good. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Go move on. Yeah.
All right. How about this, guys? From 1950, Cinderella, voiced beautifully by Eileen Woods, versus Belle from 1991's Beauty and the Beast. Now, before they're Disney princesses, these were scrappy gals. You had one who's been kind of a slave working away, and another one who's had to take care of her nutty dad. And yeah, she reads and stuff, but she kind of cleans up a little bit. But what do you guys think?
I give it to Cinderella because I think she's probably got a lot of pent up hostility about her stepsisters, so she's going to unleash on Belle.
Cinderella.
Yeah, she's had a tougher life. And, I agree.
It's so funny, guys, because that's exactly what I thought too. Cinderella, and for listeners, if you never got a chance to see Ralph Breaks the Internet from 2018, there's a great sequence when Vanellope von Schweetz meets all of the Disney princesses, and they're all CGI, beautifully done. And there's this whole interaction between them, and they say stuff about, hey, were you kidnapped? Do you have daddy issues? And it's actually really neat. You could find this on YouTube if you put in Ralph Breaks the Internet princess scene, and you can see it's about 4 minutes long. It's really cool. I suggest you check that out. Okay. So how about Hit Girl from Kick-Ass 2 from 2013, that's Mindy McCready, versus a young Black Widow played by Scarlett Johansson in 2010's Iron Man 2.
Oh.
So you have more of a high school hit girl. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to say Black Widow, this is not the Black Widow from Endgame who is, all over the place. And she's a younger one,
but she was still already had years and years of training.
Absolutely, Sean. But
I'm still going to go with Natasha because she's been through so much. She's such a badass. Yeah,
I'm going Black Widow.
Yeah.
James,
Black Widow.
All right.
Very good.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Okay, these were SmackDown ones. Good job. Good job. Okay, Sean, why don't you give us one or a couple?
Okay. Well, Matt, you gave us. Who is it? Gave us the toy ones, the Gundam and the Mazinger, right?
That was Jason.
Okay, so Jason, you did toys, so I'm going to do some toys too. Okay, a Rock'em Sock'em robot.
Ooh,
pick your choice. Pick your choice, the red or the blue one, right?
Okay, sure.
Versus a Mego fist fighting superhero.
Amigo fist fighting superhero.
You remember? Because basically, it was the same. They had the same ability. They had
which one?
The thing in their back. It could be whatever. It was like Batman, Robin, Superman. They all do the same fist fighting action. There's a lever on their back, and it was a short-lived run. Mego figures in the 70s. A few of the superheroes they re-released with fist fighting action, and a couple of the villains too.
Right.
Okay.
And basically the same thing. And they're about the same. Mego's about the same size as a Rock'em Sock'em robot.
If we're talking actual toy versus toy, then it's Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Rock'em Sock'em robots, only because he's a robot and he's going to keep going.
Jason,
he's keep going.
I'm leaning toward fist fighting heroes because they're more mobile. Those robots, they're glued to the base. They can't get around.
True,
but they're robots.
Glued to the base. You can move them around.
They got bigger fists.
James,
I got a bigger fist for you.
I'm leaning towards the Migos too. The Migos, I don't know. For some reason, I want to say the Migos are just sturdier, and their heads didn't pop off, right?
That's why I go with the Migos, because a major flaw in the Rock'em, one good hit from one of the Mego fists to the robot's head, and done.
But it doesn't shut them down. It doesn't shut down their ability to fight.
Yeah.
Well, no, but in the game though, it is you lose when you knock your
lose,
block
but
off.
we're talking about the
No, when your thinking head of the robot is separated from his body, it's done.
It's not separate.
done.
It's just higher.
Yeah, but you have to put it back down. He can't do it.
Right. Well, next episode.
Like this is semantics. Fine, Sean. Okay.
All right.
Your bio figures. Okay. What's your second thing?
All right. How about Jason? This one's for you.
Okay.
Prince Voltan, the Hawkman, Brian Blessed from Flash Gordon.
Ooh. Okay.
Versus Pegasus from Harry Hosden's Clash of the Titans.
Oh, man. Wow.
Battle in the air. Who wins?
Ooh, that's really good.
And I'm not sure actually who would do that.
Okay, my gut immediately is going to say Pegasus, just because of the maneuverability. Because I think he's a boy, is going to glide around and can maneuver away from Voltan. Voltan might be a little more crude in his movements, although he'll have a weapon.
Right.
But I think if it's dodgems, that Pegasus has got the advantage.
Also, a horse is a strong animal.
And very strong.
They can fly, and all it takes is one kick. One kick or a
one
swipe
kick.
with the. You could say, well, Voltan's got the man of a mind, but I just think if Pegasus were out to kill, I think Pegasus would make it happen.
Pegasus, yeah.
Pegasus.
I hate to think of Pegasus being, slain by a sword.
Worse than two kids being thrown in a room.
I also think that a Pegasus is a supernatural being too.
Oh,
true. That's true.
Here we
go.
Yeah,
okay, I'm just gonna throw one more out there really quick. The human centipede versus the pantomime horse from Monty Python. Go.
The what?
Tragic.
Pantomime horse?
Yeah. Who would win? Cage match.
I'm going pantomime horse because they can use a gun.
Yeah.
They used a pistol in one, so I'm going pantomime horse.
All right. Agree.
Yep. Well, that was great, Sean. Thanks. That's great. James, can you give us a couple? James, can you give us a couple?
Okay. The shark from Jaws versus Orca the killer whale.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two animals that go in a room. Okay, we have to figure this out.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Is it?
I'd go with the shark.
Isn't it the beginning of Orca the killer whale? We see the remains of a great white on the beach. It's like 5 times bigger than the great white.
That's from Jaws 2.
It's from Jaws 2. You see the remains of a killer whale on the beach.
Oh my God, it's weird. I got that transposed.
In the beginning of Orca, you see a shark about to attack somebody, and a killer whale butts into the shark.
Yeah. It's a bigger, more powerful
orca.
Sea animal, I think. Orca. I mean,
orca.
Yes.
Also, it's personal.
It's personal. Orca has sentient thinking.
Oh, it feels pain and remorse from the death of its child. Yep.
Yes.
They can outthink the giant shark, which is just instinct.
It's a perfect
but the shark has black eyes, like a doll's eyes. It's just an eating machine. It doesn't give a shit. I don't know. I lean towards the shark.
If it was De Laurentiis versus Steven Spielberg, it would be Steven Spielberg. But Orca for sure.
Jason,
I think I might have to go Orca. I was going to go Bruce the Shark from Jaws, but I think I'm going to have to go Orca because of the size and the sentient thing. It's out for revenge.
Vengeance.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, James, are you happy? Your whale won that one. Okay?
Yes, I am actually. I'm happy.
Good, fine.
I actually thought I was going to get laughed at for that one.
No.
That's
looking at you.
Okay.
But you still have a second turn here.
All right. Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family TV show from the 60s versus Eddie Munster from the TV show from the 60s.
I like that, actually.
That's a good one.
Who's in Larry, you approve? There's 2 kids.
That's right.
Yes, they're monster kids. They're monster kids. I'm gonna think that. Well, look, do I expect anything like? I mean, it's James GONIS, of course.
Dancing around the answer. Just answer.
I personally think that.
What the fuck
Eddie
is this?
Wood.
This is not a Senate hearing.
I think Eddie would win because he is a monster kid.
Wrong.
Whereas Wednesday is just she's like a goth kid.
And Eddie's too naive, and Wednesday she's clever and smart and is always thinking.
We're talking about the TV series, though, right?
Yeah. I haven't seen the new series. I'm going by the original Addams Family series. She's more alert and aware of what's going on. She's smart. Eddie's more an innocent kid. He's just a kid. Yes, he may be a half wolf or whatever he is, but
he's not vicious, really.
He's harmless.
And Wednesday is almost a sociopath in the stuff that she does.
Yeah. For sure.
Wednesday's more malicious. Eddie's not malicious.
Yeah, Wednesday Addams is a bit of a sociopath. There's no two ways about it. She would come up with some diabolical things to do.
Well, right. I'm sure Lisa Loring would love to hear that. So, she was a guest on our show. If people want to check out that episode, she was wonderful. So, James, there you go. So it looks like Wednesday's got your votes here. Okay.
And Butch Patrick, the invitation is always open. So
no.
That's right.
Oh no.
That's right.
You brushed him off now. I said,
you could come on and defend that answer.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, Matt, why don't you take us out here?
Okay. Well, here's my first one. Ant-Man versus the Andromeda strain.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Oh.
You've got an alien killer organism.
Yeah.
That can kill you immediately. But then you've got Ant-Man who can get very, 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 very small.
Yeah, he can
basically tear apart the molecules of this thing.
Right, because he can go to the quantum level of which is dangerous though to do.
Because he might get infected, before he can do that.
Right. Or even that you don't know what would await him in that quantum world of the Andromeda strain.
Possibly, yeah. No,
but it almost sounds like a setup for like a franchise sequel for an Ant-Man movie. So I'd have to give it to Ant-Man because otherwise, what's the point? He goes in and then boom, it's over. He dies.
Well, but also the Andromeda strain is notorious for the fact that it is constantly mutating.
Yeah.
So he could be in that level where you see you see those like weird cube shaped things changing under the microscope in Andromeda strain. It might get the better of Ant-Man. He'd have to move fast. You'd have to know exactly what to do to take it apart or to dismantle the molecules. If not, that's tough. I mean,
it mutates like all viruses mutate. Yeah. They all want to survive.
They all want to kill. Yeah. Yeah.
I think if we're sending him in on like a recon mission, I think he's done. He's done for because we haven't studied. Well, because unless depending on what point, if we don't really know what this thing is yet, how prepared you are. But also, I think I might have to also just still give the edge to the Andromeda strain because it was constantly mutating at that point, and I don't know.
If they're thrown into a room right at once, he doesn't have time. He has to just go in and try something. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I give a slight edge to Andromeda strain.
Okay, and that's fair. And
I think me too.
All those are great arguments, but I think I'm going to go with Ant-Man. I have a feeling that you get small enough and you can figure something out.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
If he could find a way to defeat Thanos.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then here you go. Speed Racer versus Mad Max.
Wow.
Matt, do they have their cars with them?
Yes, they do. So this is a very big room.
I'd say Speed Racer. Speed Racer has the Mach 5. The Mach 5.
Got more features.
That's the dilemma, though. I think Mad Max is probably way more cunning and probably better at outsmarting Speed. But if Speed has all those bells and whistles in the Mach 5, that's going to win him over, I think.
Love that car.
Okay.
Max has been through so much. Speed hasn't, but Speed has that car.
But Max is a warrior. He's the road warrior, and
he's got a hurt leg. He's beat up. He's old.
He's got the aggression.
Speed is young.
He's got the aggression. Speed is not aggressive. Speed's not I can't see Speed wiping the floor with Mad Max. It doesn't compute.
I mean, if they have the cars,
Mach 5's got more gadgets. More gadgets for sure, probably more speed in the Mach 5, but if Max just decides to pull out the sawed-off shotgun and blow Speed's head off,
No.
The
The race is not over because he has to shoot through the Mach 5 with its special windows and his little bird homing device, and then the buzzsaw things that come out.
Special bullets that go through those special windows in this hypothetical.
See, now you're just making
maybe Mad Max is a supernatural being.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know the backstory of him.
He's the Messiah, basically.
Look, if we're not gonna play the game properly, why play it at all? Matt, I think this is good. This is
the correct answer is Mad Max.
There you go. Thank you.
No.
Yes.
No.
Shoot him in the face.
Does everyone agree?
He lives in the wasteland. He would figure out a way to avoid all of his gadgets and just knock the Mach 5 over and then plunge a knife into
No.
And then,
but what if Sprito and Chim Chim hiding in the trunk?
No.
They come out, they stab Max.
They can't be there.
The feral boy will take care of them.
The feral boy versus Sprito. I like that.
Chim Chim versus Lancelot Link.
There you go.
There we go. That's what we go out on.
All right.
If those two are in the trunk, it's just more food for Max. If he wins that.
Yes.
Matt, do you have one more for us?
Do you want one more?
Sure. Throw out one more.
Yeah.
Okay. How about
a good one?
Well, that wasn't good.
No, that was a great one. That was a great one. I love
Here we go. Here, this will make you all happy. Snake Plissken versus Ash from Evil Dead.
Oh, that's good. Snake versus Ash.
Can I ask one question?
Mm-hmm.
Does Ash have his
chainsaw hand?
Sure.
Yeah, and Snake has at least a knife or something, you know. Yeah. Right. Wow, that's a good one. I like that.
I love Snake, but I have to go with Ash.
Right.
Really? I was going to go with Snake. I think that Snake is more of a badass. I think
I understand that,
but he's got more vulnerable.
He's clever.
Yeah.
You know what though? Ash has had so much experience fighting demons and the dead, but Plissken has had a career of crime, robbing banks and never getting caught until finally he's caught, and he's like.
And fighting real thugs.
I just think he's more in the real world, and because of that, he's going to just kick Ash's ass. It won't be easy.
I lean towards
I think it's
Snake.
Going to tip towards Snake. I mean, Snake in that cage match and say from New York, he fight I think he's going to get it. I think it would be Snake, but by just a little bit. But I think it'll be Snake.
I agree. I'm with Sean.
Jason,
I can't decide. I literally can't decide.
Jason,
I'm going to lean toward Ash.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
So, Matt, you have to decide now.
Because
we can't have a tie.
He could be a supernatural being. He could be twins with supernatural beingness.
Well, Ash has been possessed before.
He's been possessed before.
He has at least temporarily been supernatural. But that wouldn't apply, I assume, for this fight.
Even though he has fought supernatural beings, he has had physical fights with them and won.
Sure.
So he's won fights with little tiny versions of himself.
He's also gotten the shit beat out of him too, though.
Yeah, but he keeps coming back. And
so,
yes,
that's true.
Snake is a vicious fighter, but also Ash just kind of has that luck.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Until he meets Snake.
Maybe. But,
so what's your answer?
My money is on Ash.
Answer the question, sir.
My money is on Ash.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait. Just one last one. Necktie versus bow tie. And the answer is it doesn't matter because whoever wins, it's a tie.
There you go.
I see what you did there.
There you go.
I got
Isn't it great?
It's our show.
Isn't it great when Grandpa comes downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh!
Can I just throw in one last honorable mention now that I know the rules of the game?
Sure.
Sure.
Trog versus the Trogs.
The Trogs.
I say
there's like
I go
5
with
of
the
them,
Trogs.
right?
Yeah, there's 5 of them, and if you've ever heard the outtakes, they're going to run circles around Trog.
Well, also because Trog likes music, as we know, so he'll be rocking. He'll be rocking out to them, and they'll just get the upper hand and distract him. Yep.
Yeah,
perfect.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for bringing that up. We really enjoyed that, and thank you so much for being with us on the show tonight.
Yes.
This has been a lot of fun. This has been a lot of fun. A lot of great matchups with a lot of great discussion here.
Yeah.
Now,
Great wrap
Jason,
up, Larry.
And look, man, I know that you're a really busy guy and you've got a lot of things. You got a lot of pans in the fire. Is there anything going on that you could tell us about? No, well, come on. Is there something you're working on, or is there something people can see on YouTube or something? Or
you're going to be on Monster Party, right? You're going to be on the next episode of Monster Party.
Doing this. Yeah, I'm
Fifth Bang Pow.
Yeah, this is you know how like when they used to have the old talk shows and people would just come on and not really plug a product.
Right,
come on to hang out.
Like
that's
like Burt Reynolds,
Reynolds. I'm Burt Reynolds without a product to plug to say, hey, if anybody wants me to plug a product, let me know.
Are we going to see you at Comic-Con maybe in July?
If I live that long, yes, you'll probably see me at Comic-Con in July.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what tomorrow may bring? I think that's a Edith Piaf song. But yes, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be invited. I know that when you run through all the other options, you always know that I'm on that speed dial that you can, the David Brenner of Monster Party, that you can always just
that's
listeners.
That's your description from this point on.
And I'm very happy. No, I'm teasing. I love you guys. I love doing this.
This is a great one though.
Yeah.
But this is great. This is like one of the best matchups we've had, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'd like to think I had something to do with that.
Absolutely.
You sure did.
Anyway.
Well, we should raise our glasses to the first who would win of 2023.
Yeah. With the great incomparable David Brenner, Jason Lenzi.
Yay! Woo!
Time for a listener shout out.
Shout out versus shout out.
This goes out to our good friend Pashur House.
Yay, Pashur!
Body painter extraordinaire.
Absolutely.
I guess it's pronounced Pashur, which I recently found out at the last Monsterpalooza. Pashur was a longtime listener, and he's joined us at the last few Monsterpaloozas.
Yes.
Body painting models at our booth. Live,
yes, he does.
Which is marvelous. Pashur just purchased a Monster Party cap from our eBay store.
That's right.
Hey.
So he's looking to represent, which we very much appreciate.
Yes, we do.
Of course. He's just an all-around good guy.
Yes, and a very, very talented body painter too. So
very talented.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really, really appreciate that.
Has been really kind to us over the years.
Absolutely. Yes, right.
And Larry, I think you have a special shout out tonight.
Yeah, guys, I do. And it may seem a little sad. My father-in-law, Milton Posnick, passed away on New Year's Day at the age of 92. And I just wanted to say a couple things. Yes, it's sad, but he had an absolutely amazing life. My wife's father was a fantastic guy. He was a musician. He became a lawyer, and he helped out a lot of people, but he was always he told great jokes, and he was always the life of a party. He and his lovely wife Kay were always just, everyone wanted to hang out with them. Carrie's friends, my wife's friends, her brother's friends, all loved to hang out with Milt and Kay. They were so fun. They were so charming and charismatic. At the retirement community that they lived for like 30 years, all the neighborhoods loved them. He had his own little musical band that he would perform. He was just a terrific guy.
Yes, he was.
From the very beginning, when Carrie and I were dating, he was always so lovely, warm, and supportive of me and my pursuits. But the funny thing about Milt is, we always had this ongoing joke. He knew that I was in entertainment and I was doing these special effects things or these shows. And when I started at Playboy, he would always joke with me, Larry, do you have a part for an old man? And I would always have to say to him, I go, well, Milt, no, I don't actually. And we did this for years and years and years. Well, as the story goes, Matt and I worked together on this wonderful show on Playboy TV called The Stash, and Matt had to write these funny commercials, and it just so happens that one of them required an old man.
Nice.
And when I saw this, I went, oh my God. And I called up my father-in-law and said, Milt, I think I've got a part for you as an old man. And he was ecstatic, and he came in to do this read for us with Matt's brilliant script, and he was so funny. He recorded all the lines, and some of them, it's like, hey, I'm an old guy, and I may be dying soon.
Can I say what the bit was?
Yes, yeah, go ahead, Matt.
So you've seen those Our Time dating commercials.
Oh yeah,
a dating service for people who are over 50.
Right.
So my bit was Our Time for Anal.
So my 80-plus-year-old father-in-law did this, and he had such a blast, and he read Matt's lines, and we were like dying. It was so funny. And we had to have some other older people in it, and when they cut the commercial, Matt loved all of Milt's things, and that commercial, that I got a copy of the commercial, and they would play it for some of their friends, and everyone would just die. He was a wonderful, wonderful guy.
Yeah.
And he will be missed. I love him very much. And
he was terrific.
He was always very supportive, and he would always. And the funny thing is, he always asked about you guys. He knew about Monster Party, and he'd always go. And he loved. James came and helped me move some stuff down, and they loved James. They would always ask, "How's that James doing?" And he goes, "How's that Matt and Sean doing?"
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
that's great.
So I couldn't have asked for a better father-in-law who was very supportive, and he was just a wonderful, wonderful guy.
Nice. Very nice.
A toast to Milt.
A toast to Milton
All right.
Posnick.
Woohoo! Milt. Well, if you're interested in Monster Party merch, it is available on our eBay store, which is easy to remember. It's called Monster Party Store on eBay.
Brilliant.
And we've still got the Monster Party cap, which has many, many stitches. Let's just leave it at that.
Oh, yeah. Stitches versus stitches.
We've got the Monster Party Kaiju logo t-shirt designed by Derek Robertson that we made up special for the last Monsterpalooza. We've got a few sizes left of the Monster Party logo t-shirt.
Yeah, we got a good amount of larges. If you're looking for a large, you're in luck.
And that's the glow
And
in the
some
dark.
extra larges too, I think.
Nice. We got the Monster Party shot glasses, which are beautiful, and also the Monster Party PPE cloth mask, which are still, sad to say, kind of a necessity in many parts of the country.
Yes.
You might want to get yours now.
They're as effective as Ant-Man.
And if you happen to be a Patreon member and you buy something from our eBay store, we will throw in free goodies courtesy of our guests, Jason Lenzi and Biff Bang Pow Toys, and creature creator Ted Haynes.
That's
Who
right.
would win? Who would win, you think?
I think everybody wins, Matt.
Everybody wins.
Oh,
You're right. Yeah, nice. Good
And
answer.
if you're a
That's
Patreon
right.
member, so what is it? I keep hearing about Patreon. For some reason, every 2 weeks, it goes out of my mind. What is it about it? What is Patreon? What can you tell me about it?
Well, one thing it isn't a matchup between Patreon and your wallet. It's not that at all. What it is, it's a platform that if you sign up for it, you will have access to bonus material from Monster Party. So we're talking about bonus audio episodes, various shows that we do, like Larry's Toy Time, Monster Party Masterpieces, where you get to see our early films and all kinds of creative, fun nonsense. And we've got video diaries of our trip to Japan. We have these collections of vintage sci-fi and horror stories that were put together by my stepfather-in-law, John Bordeaux. So there's a lot there, and we're always trying to think of new things to, lay on you. So, this is a wonderful thing to get involved with.
Wow. Well, it sounds very tempting, but my inclination to spend money is at war with my bank account, Matt, and I'm not sure who would win. Sounds a little
Nice.
pricey,
Look, you get what you pay for, right? And what you get when you pay for this is quality and joy and love and good times and feelings. And I'm now starting to turn into Jerry Lewis. But all of this only costs $5 a month.
Holy crap.
$5.
Wow.
Crap.
You can't get a slightly damaged Lancelot Link lunchbox for that price.
That's true. You can't.
It was probably damaged by a chimp attacking it.
Wow. Well, that's a deal. I got to say, I that's anybody can afford that.
Yes, they can.
Chimps can.
Chimps can. Right.
Wow.
So
well, how does one go about this?
Well, all you got to do is you just go to patreon.com, you go to Monster Party, you click join, and you follow the instructions. And next thing you know, you're swimming in bananas.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Well, hey, let's also remind our listeners that we are also on social media. We are on Facebook and Monster Party TV. YouTube is also Monster Party TV. We are on Twitter at Monster Party HQ and Instagram, also Monster Party HQ. And hey, whatever your thoughts are, we would love to hear them. So please take a moment and send us your thoughts in a review, and we will read it on the air.
We will not only read them on the air, but we will take your positive review and match it up with a negative one. I wonder who's going to win. On that note, I am Matt Weinhold.
I'm Shawn Sheridan.
I'm Larry Stroth.
And I'm James Gonis.
Keep America strong.
And play your own game of who would win on your own.
Ow!
What happened, Matt?
I just got kicked in the face by a leapus.
It's pronounced le pouce.
I can't keep awake now. I'm like, I don't know if it's like I've been taking too much speed like stuff to keep me going.
Speed like stuff.
With you now.
Huh?
Hey man, I just can't get enough of the speed.
Oh man, because what
I
it
cooked
does
it myself.
that what I go really fast, but then you get to a point where you just kind of
Well, yeah, you gotta try to balance.
You've just
and then you got to take more. Then you got to take more.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh,
someone's
fuck.
late to the game.
Monster Party.
Hey, James, tell them how
it's
the night after cocaine is.
Uppers, downers. You got to balance them out.
It's like the song "Speed" in the Apple. Speed. You got to keep doing more and more. Yeah.
God,
That's where I learned it from.
Yeah, there's an Apple reference already. That's right,
Apple,
Jason.
30 seconds into the Apple reference.
That's
My
right.
God.
Hey, Jason, you look great.
You can't see that I'm not wearing trousers, right?
Right. No.
Nobody's
Okay,
wearing
good.
trousers.
All right. I'll just
You're
hold this
part
out
of the
until
club now. You're one of us.
the trouserless gang.
Exactly.
How is everyone?
That would
nice
be a
to
good
see you
gang,
all.
by the way. We should start a gang where we just commit these horrible crimes.
The TG
without any
trouserless
pants.
gang.
Yeah, just tackle swaying back and forth.
Because I also love the word trousers. It's just a great
Trouser
word.
is great. We got to
Yes.
bring that back.
Trousers.
Thank you, Jason, for
Yeah.
bringing it back. How are
You're
your
welcome.
pantaloons?
Don't
Well-
people believe in making ice? What's wrong with that? You go and you
Wait,
take
what?
all the
Where's
ice out of an
that come
ice
from?
cube, try
We're talking about
and then-
trousers.
That took a turn. That took a weird
Wow.
turn.
That was the weirdest
Speaking of trousers,
transition
The
What?
ice.
ever.
What was that segue?
Put on
It's
your
a
ice
pet-
trousers.
It's a pet peeve. I'm sorry. I'm just
Oh.
Or is it
Continue.
icy?
Go ahead. No, talk about-
icy? Is it icy in your trousers?
no. It's go talk about your trousers. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, great.
So
hey,
Jason, you're
wanna
talking
see
about
an
your
ice
trousers. No, okay.
Trousers.
I'm
Trousers.
thinking of I listen. I'm trying to think of not only my but your international audience, and if you say pants, it's like
Could mean
saying
anything.
the hood of the car or the it's the two languages divided by a common language. Because pants refers to underpants. And so in the UK, if you say, oh, that movie was really pants, it's like a negative, like, oh, it was just awful. So trousers becomes the de facto word because pants, if you're talking to the wrong person.
Slacks? Does slacks work?
Slacks could work.
I think Angel flights.
Yeah, will they get that in Sri Lanka or wherever else
tough skins?
Skins. Yeah, we all had those, right?
When I hear slacks, that makes me think more of dress slacks, whereas trousers could be your jeans, could be your
casual. Sounds fancy too.
Dungarees.
Yeah. Trousers sound fancy.
Dungarees. How about dungarees?
Dungarees is good. That's a good one too.
We should do an episode on pants. Pants.
Yeah.
Orange pants.
We're doing it now.
No, we're not doing a show on fucking pants.
No. Hey, Larry. Sci-fi and horror pants.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That could be cool.
Oh, horror pants. Oh, gee.
I'm sorry.
Brilliant.
Horror trousers.
Jesus.
Or maybe the sci-fi and horror episode, pants optional.
No colons.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that either.
Trousers optional. Semicolon.
Colons and pants and trousers.
Boy,
all I know is with my trousers, I'm going to be wearing a jumper.
Yes, you should be wearing a jumper and a cardigan.
Right, a cardigan,
and you're over your cardigan. Yeah, a cardi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Boy, I've missed this. Let me tell you.
And you know what
he says with dripping sarcasm.
But Jason, I'm surprised.
It's been too long.
But we actually have never done. This is our seventh Who Would Win episode, and we've never done one with you. I'm surprised because we've done free for all.
Where have you been? What have you been up to?
This is overdue.
I've had the petition sent out. Didn't get enough signatures.
Jason, I'm sorry, Larry. Just because you can't handle your fucking drugs, don't take this shit out on LENZI.
Yeah, Matt. Maybe you're witnessing. This is the drug, Larry.
Is this the new Larry?
It's the road. It's the runway.
It's
the gateway, as they say.
It's like you got a lot of things going on. There's a lot of production shit. Blah, blah, blah. You must keep awake. You must keep working.
I have thought from time to time, why are you dabbling with this Red Bull when there's cocaine right there?
Oh, great. Yeah, because that's really cheap. Look, I can get a Red Bull.
If you go to the right place.
But here at Monster Party, we just kind of joke and rib about these little
vices we have.
Substances. Because we know. No. We all kind of joke and ha ha.
Are we now sponsored by Play School? What the fuck?
I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year.
And Jason, it's so great to see you.
It's good to see you. I'm glad that 23 is. I'm glad that 23 has started with more of a drug regimen because, frankly, I'm not going to lie. 22 was a letdown for me. Regarding drugs, it's hard to find Ready Whip. They don't make it in that can like they used to.
Wow,
Cheese Whiz.
That's the first sign things are
Cheese Whiz.
Cheese Whiz. It's like you go to the store and it's like I go for my Cheese Whiz and how can it be gone? Yeah. And there's there's a little sign.
Damn tweakers. You know what?
But
I'll tell you one thing, Jason. I've been wanting to do mushrooms with you forever.
Really?
Like a mushroom pizza or something.
When you do that, invite Gina and I, please.
Yeah, no, we'll all do mushrooms, but it's not as good on Zoom. You gotta
we should be
up close and personal. And then we'll have Larry make sandwiches.
I can make I'll make a nice sandwich for you. I will make you the best sandwich, Matt.
I have no doubt.
And I am into that, And
there'll be plenty of ice. Plenty of ice.
Plenty of ice.
And straws.
And straw. Yeah, you guys know me so well.
I know your thing about straws. I know.
Bendy straws, Sean. Bendy straws.
I know.
Hey, Larry, what's your specialty? What's your sandwich specialty?
It's not so much what is your specialty.
It's
how you make it.
When I make my friends a sandwich,
Jason's left the room, and now his dog is going to do this.
So I'm just look. I'm just saying, for the folks at home, I take my sandwich making duties seriously, and whatever it is that you like, I'm going to make it all nice and thin and go to the edge and the special cheese and. A bunch of thin slices. You cut a lot of thin slices.
I like turkey, big thick chunks. I like them. I don't
like a thick chunk.
I like a thick slice.
Depends on
PB&J. PB&J has to be about a half inch or more of peanut butter.
Yeah, PB&J for sure,
and a half inch or more of jelly.
Yeah,
white bread.
It's funny you say
bread.
PB&J. First of all, I just want to add, you can sprinkle cocaine into any one of my sandwiches since we're on the topic.
Good to know.
And secondly, there was a girl that lived. You know how a block is like a rectangle, and then you say, "Oh, they live behind us," but you got to go around the block and cut the
sure.
And she was this girl that lived back there, and she was kind of my girlfriend when I was a little boy.
Oh.
When her mom would make PB&Js. She did this thing that I was kind of addicted to for a while. Is like a thin layer of butter, and then the peanut butter, and then the jam on the others, or the jam or the jelly on the other piece.
Don't say jam.
But that little thin layer of butter,
just a thin layer, huh? Okay,
just a thin, just in it. And I asked her, even as a little kid, I'm like, "What's your secret, Mrs. Fazer? What's that about?"
Shaking his head
and she said,
he heard something new.
But she said. And I never forgot this. It made the peanut butter easier to spread. A little bit of a flavor, but the peanut butter can sometimes.
That's not a good reason, though.
No, but peanut butter can sometimes tear soft bread.
Yes, that's true. Especially the Wonder Bread and stuff at the time.
How are you spreading your peanut butter?
But
I'm in a hurry. I'm moving.
Jason,
I'm on the go. I gotta go.
Jason, this is what happens though. Then you go home to your family when you have 7 brothers and sisters, and your mom goes, "Yeah, I'll throw some butter on your freaking bread," and she takes a chunk of butter, and just kind of slaps a chunk of butter on it, not smoothing it out. So when you bite into it, I go, "I got a chunk of butter mixed with my peanut butter and jelly." And there's nothing but jelly, and I hate that. I hate it.
Okay. Don't ever to be fair, that's not what he's talking about.
I'm sorry I brought it up, man. I'm sorry I even mentioned Jackie.
Who would win, peanut butter or jelly?
All right.
We win.
Right. Peanut butter, butter and jelly, or peanut butter and jelly. I gotta get my list. I
just want to say though, if you guys are tearing your bread with the peanut butter, you're mad at peanut butter. Or
no, I'm not saying
in the refrigerator.
I'm not saying I ever did that. And first off, butter, unless it's that soft butter in a tub, should not be in the fridge. Really, it should be in a fairly,
that's true.
A fairly room temperature. Nobody likes.
There's nothing worse than there's nothing worse than at restaurants when you get the little rectangular packets of butter and they're freaking hard as a rock. Yep. What do you supposed to do with them?
You
have to sit on them for 10 minutes.
You got to sit on them. Right.
Yeah.
You got to sit on them for like 5 minutes to get them nice and soft. Nobody likes that.
I walk back into the kitchen and I have a handful of them. And I just drop them on the stove. and then like Gordon Ramsay, I say, pathetic.
Say, what do you call these? What do you call these?
What a shame. What a shame.
I think they're packets, aren't they?
Jason, I want you to notice something, unless you guys have brought it up before I came in. This is very special because if you notice, James Gonis is in a special room.
That's right.
He's coming at you from a special room today.
Okay.
I now have a collector's room, a man cave.
Oh,
dedicated.
I didn't know you didn't.
I did not. Everything was in storage. Almost everything was in storage. Now, finally, I have what they call a detached casita. Okay. And it is all filled with bookcases that are filled with figures. Mostly.
I can see Loomis and
and Laurie,
and Jamie Lee, Laurie right back there.
Yeah,
that's a good start.
And that's where James freezes for the rest of the episode. Great. That's our show.
Now I don't feel so bad.
You know what's great?
James, you have a great collector's room. Unfortunately, there's no Wi-Fi in there. So
James'
that's
own
not
phone
gonna.
No,
knows when
he
to
has
cut him off.
Wi-Fi. He has Wi-Fi.
James, you back? You all right?
There he is.
You
There he
froze.
is.
I'm back.
James.
I'm getting a
Bro-
little bit of lag sometimes. I don't know why.
You're-
but,
you're
You're
getting a lot of
freezing
lag.
up a little bit. It's not good. You want
I
to
like your
start your
t-shirt,
phone again,
too.
or what do you?
Yeah, you might want to try something else, James. You're
Have you tried turning it off and on?
Nice.
Anyone?
Nice.
For that.
Thank you, Jason.
Very nice.
All right.
Joe, you want to just try it? You want to go with it and hope for the best, James?
Okay, I'm going to switch to my laptop. Give me a sec.
okay.
Let's talk about James.
Yeah. I mean, just the arrogance.
Where is he? And he's a host.
I know.
How did this happen? I thought,
You
listen,
know-
I don't feel bad because I thought I was going to be the guy that was going to let everybody down, frankly, because
Oh
Technology.
no!
I use, listen, I have this computer in my hand. I bet I use the phone for about 5% of what it
Yeah.
needs to do. I don't use it for
Sure.
anything. And when it comes to anything technical, usually there's a gremlin somewhere. I'm doing something wrong. But
Right,
you know,
This is working, though.
I'm creative. What can I say? I don't have capacity. I've got too many things in my head, like B-sides of singles and what years movies, shitty
know,
movies
me
came
too.
out to
Yeah.
worry about.
It's like you
how
live in the
technology-
movie Diner.
That's right. Do you know?
Right.
Do you know? I once. This is a true story, and I felt bad about it now and then. I gave a girlfriend a quiz once, like Modell did.
on movies or something.
Really? Wow.
Yes, we'd been dating for about 9 months, and she said, "Well, you can quiz me. I know this stuff now." I'm like, "Really?" So I did like a movie and music quiz. She,
Yeah.
she passed. We kept
Yeah.
dating. It was okay.
For a second, I was
But-
like, she died.
She no one's seen her
She
since.
passed on.
She disappeared. No one saw her after that night taking the quiz. But yeah, but it was a good mix of music and Python questions and
Oh, cool.
How'd she do?
stuff like that. She did well. She got it. She passed. She got like a C.
Okay.
No,
C,
but
C
was
plus.
that as a result of dating you?
Good question.
Because
Yes,
was she-
because
Oh, yeah.
because
So
she-
you've educated somebody.
yes. In fact, I'm going to go on record and don't put this in the show. Everyone I've ever dated has been educated by me and turned on to things.
Why
whether
wouldn't
it's
you want
Alan-
this in the show?
Yeah.
Because it's going to sound like arrogant.
That's true.
Or,
No,
but it's absolutely true.
You be proud.
I can attest
Wow,
to that,
yes,
Jason,
you'd
that
be
you've turned
proud
me on
of
to
that.
things.
Be
Yeah.
proud.
They leave the situation not only fulfilled sexually and spiritually,
Okay, don't put
But-
this in the show.
Well,
they also end up gaining buckets of information that they didn't have before.
Yes.
That's
Whether
right.
it's Steve Coogan or other British
IT
comedies
crowd or whatever, right.
IT crowd or music bands they didn't know about or whatever. It's
Yeah.
it's really been down to me
That's what-
that they're
That's
yeah.
I agree.
Well,
That's what
I
makes
think
the world go round.
Yeah.
you are a fascinating man, and you would be a catch for any lovely young lady.
Oh, bless your heart, Larry. Is that the drugs talking or are you being sincere? That's very sweet.
That's the drugs hitting on you.
Okay, what is it? I'm being sincere. What?
Now he's all
Come on.
That's very
flustered.
sweet.
Now he doesn't
That's
know
very-
what to say. Oh,
That's the nicest thing anyone said to me in months. That's really sweet, Larry. Thank you. I
No,
appreciate
mean-
it.
Blushing.
I
Look
mean
at
that.
that.
I
He's
mean
blushing.
that. I mean that sincerely.
Larry might want to
appreciate that.
court you.
It's like
Especially
Jason.
Jason. Yeah.
You need to go to a place where there are a lot of people that have your interests, like maybe something like Comic-Con or something. You should go and
Have you heard of
maybe walk the floor or kind of rub elbows and
Yeah.
Yeah, with the sign.
Yeah.
meet some
Desperate.
ladies.
Yes.
No.
No. Listen, they don't. Here's the thing. No one's ever going to be as interesting as me. That's just a given.
Hands down. Hands down.
And what I
see the
what I-
problem.
And what I mean by that is no one has ever had the level of interest or even a third of the level of interest, but they don't have to. Interests, yeah. They don't have to. That's the beauty of it. Is you can go, well, have you ever heard of this thing? Or would you like to try this thing? And you either get it or you don't or whatever. But, I bring a lot to the party is what I'm saying.
Hey guys, one thing I realized is this cord for my mic is doing something weird, so I'm gonna swap it out and I'll be right back.
You sound good though.
Sounds fine.
Let me try the other mic and you tell me if the difference, okay?
Okay.
Fine.
But that's good, Jason, because
Yep.
because obviously things are not working out with James. So you'll be obviously taking over as the fourth member of Monster Party since James can't get his Wi-Fi connected.
I don't know I don't know if Jason would have time though.
I think I can do a pretty good. I can do a pretty good James too. I think
probably, yeah.
I could do the voice pretty well.
That's tough.
It's very distinctive though.
Yes,
but you have your YouTube channel. You have your YouTube. You're doing all your YouTube things.
I like your YouTube stuff, man. I like your.
Thanks.
I know you're a busy guy. Plastic
it's
Soul.
Good. I like it.
You sound much better, James.
Hey, you sound better. Yeah, the visual isn't great, but it doesn't matter. You sound much better, and it seems not interrupted.
No lag. Okay, great.
No.
I'll use this from now on, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so far it seems to be okay. Like I said, the image is kind of muddy and degrading, but that's okay.
It's okay. I'm muddy and degrading, so.
I was gonna say.
Who would win?
Stop.
Yeah, we should say.
What's our?
God.
Do
volume
we actually
7?
It's volume 7. Do we name the other ones like that?
Yes,
we did. Okay, yeah, I think like how about the obliteration?
How about that's good.
Or scorched earth.
The new Eurocon.
The what?
The new Eurocon.
Or that. Yeah, whatever.
Either one.
No, I like what was it? What was
obliteration?
And we've never done that before?
We've done annihilation. I don't think we've done obliteration.
That works.
I mean, topic
bloodied and bruised.
Oh, I like that.
Or the hidden file version.
Hit and run.
That's suggesting something else. Yeah.
How about out of our skull?
No. Oh no! Out of our skull.
Operation Obliteration. I don't know, just something ridiculous. Operation Stranglehold. That was a subtitle for one of the Delta Force movies. I love that. Delta Force 3, Operation Stranglehold.
How about room obliteration?
Yeah,
what?
Fine.
What?
Room obliteration.
Fine.
Okay, whatever.
No, because it's always we're going in a room all the time.
Well, but this does sound weird. Okay.
Sean, stop giving him so many great ideas.
Let's discuss it for the next half hour, then we'll finally come up with an idea.
You're the one who's doing it. Just stop with your ideas.
Okay, room.
Matt, pick it.
No. What was it? You had obliteration. You had one more.
Scorched Earth. Is that too Nazi-ish?
That's not Nazi-ish. Blitzkrieg.
Jeffrey Katzenberg says that.
Scorched Earth?
Yeah.
It's a common saying.
Is it?
Yeah.
We know what it originates to. Yeah, okay, then let's do Scorched Earth.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
Maybe
you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking be careful.
Ukraine and
no, obliteration. What's another word for obliteration? Annihilation, devastation,
carnage.
Carnage. I like carnage. All out carnage. Carnage apocalypse. Pure carnage.
Carnage pie.
Carnage what? Pie.
I said carnage pie.
Carnage-a-thon. Carnage festival. Carnage fest.
The gamesters of Triskelion.
I like that.
Carnagepalooza.
Carnage.
Carnagepalooza, whatever.
Carnagepalooza.
Yeah, Carnagepalooza. That's it.
Okay,
that sounds fun.
Okay,
like James Gonis, ladies and gentlemen.
Very good.
All right. So who would win Volume 7 Carnagepalooza?
Yes.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready?
Good thing we took care of this before the show.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for your patience.
I'm sorry, Jason. I apologize.
There we go.
All right. Well, I'm gonna because I think I have an idea of the parameters of this and what is. It seems like it's kind of free for all, like fictitious.
As long as it's genre,
real. It's
from any medium, right?
Yes. So I'm gonna start with one that's a little more down to earth, and we'll see how this goes. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Bullitt versus Cliff Booth from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ooh.
Frank Bullitt.
Steve McQueen.
Not really genre as much, but
I mean it's detective and stuff.
I'm with it.
Other stuff.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
they're fictional characters.
They are
Okay.
fictional. We're not going to do in the future. We're going to do something a little more genre, but
let's start. Oh no!
No. I want to do this. No, I want to do this.
I'll tell you what. Let's pause.
I can do this now.
No. Here's an idea. Let's come back to this one because I got a bunch more that are much more genre. But I'm going fictitious and action and so on. But let's start with more this more
Have you
genre.
listened to Monster Party?
Did you get the list that we send you?
I got the list and I saw.
And then you
stuff
just
on
went,
there
I don't understand any of
No,
this.
no, there was stuff on the list that I was like, Grogu versus Nixon or something. And one of it.
Nixon.
Kind of, all right, here we go.
Come on.
Let's start over.
There you go.
Let's start over.
Go.
Let's
Okay,
start over.
okay.
Ready?
Go.
So ask me again, Matt.
All right.
Welcome to the show, Jason.
It's been a
it's so
great
good to-
new year.
Yeah.
Great way to start 23.
All right, no, here we go.
That was good. That was really good.
That was
great.
fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was good.
I loved it.
That's good,
That
I'm
was
telling you.
perfect.
Yeah.
It's
good,
great when
good
we
debates.
go into good debates. Really
And
good
minutia
debates.
that you didn't
Yeah.
expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I hope I didn't break the game.
You did
Not at all.
no.
Are you kidding? No way.
Hey,
And Bullet, I think, was it could
Always
only
Steve
have been
McQueen.
Steve
always Steve
McQueen is
McQueen.
not going to lose out to DiCaprio.
I don't know. I was
It's always
leaning
Steve
toward
McQueen.
no. It's
Oh,
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Right.
Yeah.
So
But
See,
it's still Steve
no.
McQueen.
Who was
I was
in Vietnam.
gonna
But
say Brad
McQueen
Pitt.
was in Vietnam. Brad Pitt's character was in Vietnam. He was a badass. He killed his wife and got away with it.
Yeah.
I got to lean toward Cliff Booth. I think.
Well,
he
that
would've-
was an
he would've-
accident, though. That was an
Yeah,
accident.
Yeah, maybe. Could have been a scuba accident. Maybe it was on purpose. You never know. He might not have filled up the tanks. It's hard to say.
Wife
it
killer.
struck-
What a badass.
It struck me as an accident. It was an accident.
It could be read either way. That's right. But he
Right.
is a slippery character.